Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Talk Play podcast, number 4. It's been a while since we've done one of these, nearly 2 months by my reckoning.
I'm back, baby!
Yep, as you've heard, we've got a returning member to the crew, but of course, it's customary to do my introduction, so of course, firstly, I'm joined by a bunch of sniggering idiots, might I add. But firstly, of course, it's a man who's wanted dead or alive in 7 counties. It's the flawless Cowboy.
Hello!
And then, of course, returning to the podcast after an absence of one show. the only
Too long.
the only man I know to have a codec sequence. It's 141.12. It's Fox.
Hello!
I've not got a mouthful of biscuit.
Oh, it's
I
hobnobelicious.
said that without moving my lips.
Right, we're going to kick off today's fun-filled, action-packed podcast by talking about what we've been up to. And we've been up to only one thing, and it's playing Grand Theft Auto 5. Now,
We're trying to.
Yeah.
Let's get into that and just, we'll split it up into 2 parts. We've got the single player and we've got the online. Now, we've all had a good crack at the single player, I'm assuming by now.
Finished it.
Yep, 2 of us have finished it. Fox, you haven't quite finished
No,
it yet.
not quite. I'm getting there. Enjoying the hell out of it.
How far are you into it? What was the...
Not so far. I got Trevor. I'm just about to pull off the no spoilers, the first heist you do with Trevor.
Is that the Palito Bank heist?
No, the one that's on the boat.
Oh, well, spoilers for you then.
God damn it! If I remembered that word you said, I'd be pissed.
What the hell is a palito?
Sounds delicious.
But given that me and Cowboy have finished it, I'm going to start off with Cowboy. Cowboy, what were your overall impressions?
Oh, really good. Compared to GTA 4, it's fantastic.
No one asked you to go bowling.
No, I wasn't asked to go bowling. They took bowling out of it, and people have been complaining about that, and I think to myself, why? Why are you
People
mad?
will complain about anything. They'll be like, oh my god, this bowling sucks. People keep wanting me to go bowling. Fuck bowling. Why, you can't bowl anymore. What? I love to bowl.
It's, as far as I'm concerned, you want to play bowling, get a fucking Wii Sport.
Don't you not Wii Sports? That system sold so many things because of Wii Sports.
Well, because it's good. The bowling on that is good. But it's not on GTA. I know it probably would have been on this one because the tennis, the golf is fantastic.
Oh, tennis was wicked. It's well wicked.
Yeah, just overall, the humour, perfect, spot on. A lot more satirical.
Yeah.
Of the whole American. I always felt like number 3 was very Godfather-y.
Yeah.
Obviously, Vice City is very Scarface.
Yeah.
And San Andreas, sorry, was like Boys in the Hood, that sort of thing. And
Gangsters, yo.
Very 90s black
Yeah.
gangster.
yeah, with like Bad Boys action.
Yeah, there was a bit of
in the
Bad
end
Boy.
with the fire truck was fantastic. But
Fucking, that was a long mission.
yeah,
That was long.
I'll just play GTA for a bit. Balls.
Get trapped at a 29 mission trying to chase down a fucking fire truck. That's the kind of mission like that early on with the yacht. When the yacht gets towed away, it's almost like that in a micro way.
I
'Cause
got
you gotta
really
go-
that's the one mission I got really frustrated with, and it just seemed to fail constantly. And I was thinking to myself, is it going to be like GTA 4 again? It's just going to be an impossible game to play. But it wasn't. It was just me being shit.
Well,
So,
they made a lot of it easier for you to progress through and learn the story. Not that GTA's ever had much of a story, but there's something there for you to keep going towards because you've got like the skip feature now. If a mission's proving too difficult, you can go skip. And I've always never wanted to do it. It was nice kind of knowing it was there if I got really frustrated and felt I was being cheated.
I had to that one time.
Yeah, I remember you saying
during
this.
the one mission, I had to stop. There was a guy holding a woman at gunpoint, and I had to bust in and kill him. But for some reason, it had taken all my guns away. So it just probably just a little bug that they've probably fixed now with the many patches they brought out.
Christ, yeah.
But I was trying to run at him to punch him and stuff, and it wouldn't let me do it. He would constantly kill the woman. You failed. I was trying to sneak up on him. I was trying to do it in slow motion, and it was just like there's no way of doing it. So I had to skip it, unfortunately. But I think the story in this was good. Like I say, the humour was good. Just generally, A nice big game.
Complimentary book that comes with it.
Can't help it. Can't help it. I'm just naturally gassy.
So, Fox, obviously you've not completed it, but how would you say it measures up to other games in the series?
Well, yeah, I haven't got as far as you guys, but I've probably spent about as much time. But like with Skyrim and pretty much every open world game, I spend more time just dicking about and getting into shenanigans than actually doing the missions.
Well, yeah.
So I find this GTA 5 is a big improvement on the others with the amount of goofy stuff you can get up to. It's not that I'm not interested in the story; I am getting through it. And it's great, but I prefer just sort of goofing around, doing my thing. And there's so much more to do in this one. The other day, I got a blimp, flying around the seat in a blimp, hocking grenades out the window. Why? Because I could, and nobody could stop me. It was awesome.
I love throwing explosive devices. You don't need to see the explosion. It's happened.
Just feel a little rumble in the pad and feel your job's done.
Yeah, and suddenly a star pops up. It's like, yeah, that pissed someone off.
I'll say with one of the videos we recorded recently, we was doing the parachuting challenges. And we rigged a blimp up to blow up, and I jumped out early, expecting the blimp to just sort of like drop like a rock, and it just sort of vanished. I was like, okay, where's that gone? Hit the explosives. I heard it explode. Never saw it for the life of me. So a little. So okay, that's gone. Where the fuck has that gone?
Expecting to see like the front cover of the Led Zeppelin album. Like, awesome.
Oh god, yeah, but no, it's been really wicked, hasn't it?
Yeah, really thoroughly
really
enjoyed it.
I don't think it quite captures the same tone that Vice City does.
Yeah, but I think that's maybe nostalgia's eye. Like, remember when we were playing GoldenEye and then we went back to play it more recently and we're like, this is not as good as I remember.
Yeah, it's that same kind of it's nostalgia on the level of we're sort of looking at it through roasting eyes, but also that 80s vibe has a much stronger feel to it than modern day.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot more of a piece for a lot more focus. It was a lot more of a focused sort of.
I like that they set it in the modern day. You got all the stuff with the phone, which I think is really cool, and there's loads of little nods to modern stuff.
Oh yeah.
So from like a satirical point of view, like the whole kind of Facebook thing and smartphones and stuff, I thought it was kind of cool.
Oh god, the one standout mission for me, the one that set the tone of the game for me, was when you rigged a guy's phone.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So
And
awesome.
It captured the violence and the humour of the game. Because you can't deny that it's like incredibly violent. This one.
Well, it's incredibly violent, racist, homophobic, women hating, all the rest of it. No targets left undone, but I will say that the whole women attacking thing does. I never say it would hamper my enjoyment of the game, like some reviews have been saying. Like, I was going around killing people, and then something came on about a woman urinating on a man, and it's just like, that ruined my fun. It's like, yeah, that ruined your fun of killing people. That was
If anything, that would end up my fun. I'm killing people and listening to some amusing radio at the same time.
I haven't listened to too much of the radio. There's a lot of stations that like will be on because I'm doing the missions very heavily. I don't tend to listen to the radio too much. I tend to sort of
Just get on with what you're doing.
Get on with what I'm doing. Occasionally, it'll be on with the talk shows, and it'll be like, "Oh, cool! It's Fernando Martinez." And like,
Chakra Attack's the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Whereas, like, some of the music's a bit like, it's Beyonce.
It's one of those things with the radios. I think there's at least one track on every station I like. Some obviously have more on and this, that, and the other. But if I catch the moment right, when I get to a radio station and I get that track on, and it's just like, yeah, this feels good now. I'm enjoying it. Like there's one of the Dre tracks on the Rapture station.
Oh yeah, that's
hip-hop
cool.
station.
Still DRE, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say there's a couple of Dre tracks down there that I like, and like the pop stuff. I mean, I love me a bit of All Saints when I'm driving down, just chilling.
That was unexpectedly because I know it, and because it's maybe it's like
it's unexpectedly British.
Thing,
yeah.
Like, oh, that's awesome! I can completely relate to this song. I don't own an All Saints CD, but I'll listen to it on GTA.
On the other end of the spectrum, I've never had any interest in reggae music before. However, I'm addicted to the reggae channel. I love it. I think it's wicked, and I will be looking it up and downloading as many of those tracks as I can legally. Wink.
Well, I say on the subject of music, you can download it now legally from iTunes, and it shows you what's on the radio and stuff like that. So you'll be looking up that and then legally downloading it. But also the score is available as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Because there's some really cool tracks in the score. I think the score's better than the actual music they've picked for the stations.
Yeah, I've only just recently started to notice it. Like when you're playing some of the multiplayer maps, it's like, go here and bust up these drug dealers, and the music will start off, you don't really notice it. And once you've got the drugs, it just kind of, there's this nice little upbeat, little bit of music in the background. And
Yes. So we do
gets you
some
going,
of
it's really cool.
the parachuting activities. You get a really cool bow, 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 as you're like cruising through the air with this parachute, pulling levers, going, yes!
I know, I mean, the other games didn't have that.
No.
Really. It's silence, it's radio or silence and the sounds of screams as you kill people. Slightly less harrowing now, which is good.
Yeah, but something you always get is a GTA moment, which is where you're driving along, some crazy crap's happening to you, and some music will kick in serendipitously and just sum up the moment.
Yeah,
and I think
moment.
they've tried to kick this in to another level and they tried to enforce these, which is good, because that's what GTA... I mean, there's one mission with Trevor. Well, it's like the end of a heist, and there's some stuff that happens with Trevor, and he's driving unnamed character back. And then in kicks in, If You Leave Me Now by Chicago. That's wicked.
That was a great moment. That really, really tickled me. I didn't hear much of the dialogue because I was laughing my ass off.
Yeah. It was so...
If you're driving with Trevor in the single player mode and you put on a station he doesn't like, he will change it.
Yeah,
I just think that's really cool. It's like, I can do this. I've got control over the radio. I'll listen to whatever I want. Not if you're playing Trevor. It's like, fuck is this shit? Turn on some metal.
Fair play.
Always to Channel X. Bosh! Get it back. I said there was a bit like that, and there was also something that was a bit more serendipitous. There was a very last mission. I Don't Want to Be Like You by the Alan Parsons Project's playing, and that always plays. But the track that came on afterwards was I Don't Care Anymore by Phil Collins, and that captured that moment so well. I was just like, yeah, but I don't give a fuck who you are. And here's two tracks of some of my feelings.
It was cooler, but not as amusing as the way they did it in Saints Row 3, which I think they took it from.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like at the end of Saints Row 3, when you're bombing along, depending on which mission ending you pick, there's a mission where you can either save or don't save someone. I don't really remember, but I remember the music, and I was bombing along in a speedboat towards their equivalent of the Statue of Liberty with Bonnie Tyler's "I Need a Hero."
Yeah,
and that's great. And I've heard that in the new one, you're climbing up the side of a missile that's launching into space.
That sounds so Saints Row.
And it plays that Aerosmith song from Armageddon. I don't want to close my eyes. It's like, that's fantastic. That's...
Oh, okay.
I don't suppose you could ever beat a music moment as when you're Metal Gear Solid 3 climbing up that ridiculously high ladder and it just starts playing Snake Eater. At the time, I was like, this is so out of place in a game. What is it? Oh, this is awesome, actually. No, it's totally cool.
I was climbing up a crane on GTA 5 and it was the biggest crane in the universe. And
I know the crane you mean.
The big yellow crane. I was expecting it to start singing Snake Eater at one point. I always assumed because there was a guard through the door as soon as you climb up that ladder on GTA 3, Metal Gear 3.
Yeah.
That he was the one that was singing it.
This has got a really effeminate voice, dancing at the top of the ladder.
Like because I think it takes you up onto like a mountainside or something.
Yeah.
He's like, I've been posted by the mountainside. I get a chance to practice my vocals. Darkness and silence in the night. Fucking loves it.
Loves it, dude. But I think what's impressed me most about GTA as the package is they've tightened everything up. It's like they've taken ideas for every single game they've ever done.
Yes.
And gone, okay, the driving was really good here. Let's put the driving in like that. And the shooting was really good here. Let's put that in. And this was good and that was good. And they've packed it all together along with this really, really clever character switching mechanic.
Yeah, which is really cool. I struggled with it to start off with because it was a bit of a weird...
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird concept. But once you get into it, you're doing a heist and one guy's doing this and one guy's doing that. And you're flicking between two. Oh, I need help. You flick over to... And then you're actually helping him by making him slightly better than the AI.
Yeah.
It's got like the shooting and cover system of like Red Dead.
The
aiming system. Or maybe Max Payne 3.
Yeah, it's a bit of both, isn't it?
Yeah. It's got a scoring system which I'm mad on from Alienware.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, the whole
the gold
medal
silver.
system.
I don't want to rush missions. I
It takes too much time loading them back up to go back and do them as
I
well.
don't know. I'm a bit of a completionist. I'll probably go back and try and get as many gold medals on them as I can.
You'll be here for years doing it.
Yeah.
Man. That's for you.
But yeah, as I said, that kind of thing doesn't bother me. I'm quite happy doing the same thing over and over and over.
But yeah, I think that character switching mechanic works especially well in free mode. I mean, you can just sort of pop into their lives. Even, I mean, everybody's favourite character is going to be Trevor, because you just come out of someone like Michael or Franklin.
Franklin,
I knew there was another one. I couldn't get my brain around it. But you pop out one of those characters, you get into Trevor, and you find him like sleeping on some train tracks, and a train is coming at him, and he just gets up and down and like, oh, a crazy man would have think he was abducted by aliens. It's just like, what? The train was hit you, man. What the fuck?
He's holding one of the members of the Lost over the edge of the bridge. I don't have time to discuss with you.
There's a really funny video online of GTA 4. Some dude going around on a scooter, and there's another one in front of him going, "We're scooter buddies!" And this dude's just like playing GTA 4 and saying this, and they refer to this in GTA 5. If you go into Trevor, and he's like with another buddy on scooters, just doing it like ad hoc, like just word for word, just going, "Yeah, we're scooter buddies. Where we going, scooter buddies?" Like, what? That's good.
Fair play.
Didn't necessarily appreciate seeing Trevor's wang. It was odd.
Nobody does.
He was. It's nice that they had like a crazy character. It wasn't. It will still say things that surprises you, because crazy's been done a lot.
Yeah, he wasn't completely off the wall crazy. He was completely calm and rational and pleasant, and just be a little switch in his head that went, "I've now gone to crazy Trevor, and I'm going to do something crazy."
Yeah, there's a bit. That's spoiling it for you, Fox. With the apartment that they ruin.
Oh God!
And the girlfriend turns back up.
Yeah, it goes suddenly like incredibly dark for a second.
I could see that coming. I mean, I've got to the point where they've just started to mess that apartment up, and I'm just thinking something really bad's going to happen to this poor bastard who's just minding his own business, and people have invaded his house and screwed his life up.
It does set up some funny stuff afterwards.
Yeah.
Some funny things, because obviously his cousin is there.
Yeah.
Sets up some funny stuff along that road. But yeah, it's strange. There's some moments in the game. Well, I can't really talk about without ruining anything for Fox, but I think could have been left out, and I get why they were put in, because it's satirizing the whole of the American stuff, but I don't think it really was necessary. It was gratuitous, and considering that like the people that insult GTA are always the people that don't really understand it.
Yeah,
it's really just giving them ammo, and they didn't need to do it. That's my one major.
We're talking about the torture scene. I think that's probably been covered enough not to be considered a spoiler.
Okay.
Yeah,
I personally didn't have a problem with that at all. I'm the only person I've met who was.
It didn't bother me, but I didn't really see the point of it. It was amusing afterwards.
It was like the no Russian mission in Modern Warfare 2. You would go into an airport, you shoot it up to pieces, and it was just like feeding the ammo to the fire type deal. Yeah. Like you need that kind of moment, the water cooler moment, if you will, where people are going to be talking about games. Do you know that mission in this game or that? Or like,
I think it really set Trevor up, because people are like, oh yeah, look at Trevor, he's being crazy. Oh, he's drunk on the train tracks. Crazy Trevor throwing a guy off a bridge, blah blah. Blah. And then like, oh, fuck no, he's proper fucking crazy. Like he was perfectly happy fucking that guy up, and then being really nice to him afterwards and taking him for a drive. I think that was really good for Trevor as a character.
It was telling because he was relatively fine doing the torture, but he wasn't happy doing it because he'd been told to do it.
Yeah,
that's very indicative of his character.
They summed up the whole thing by talking about how torture is for the torturer and stuff like that. But I know what they were trying to say. I know what Rockstar. I know the point they were trying to say.
Yeah.
But it didn't necessarily need to be done.
Yeah.
Like torture is bad. Yeah, I get that. I get that without actually having it, but that's it. It didn't really, but I still pressed the buttons Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
It didn't
Not
keep
going
me
to turn
up-
the console off.
It didn't keep me up at night. I'll just be. That's just me picking holes.
Right.
Because I'm struggling with other things because it's fucking great.
Oh yeah, there's no experience like it. It's just pure.
It's one of the best. I bought it because I was disillusioned with the fourth one. I bought it for the online to play with you guys, and was so happy with the story mode. I'm so disappointed with the online.
And let's transition into that then, shall we?
I thought you'd like that.
Yeah, I did like that. You can see me eyeing up the notes. Yeah, online. Day one, I'm going to go through this. I had the day off, luckily, and I thought, this would be a great time. 11:30, patch comes in. It's about 60 megs, so great. Online time, I'll have a bit of a crack at this, see what's going on. 6 hours later. 6 hours of log in, logging out, creating the character, this, that, and the other, and I eventually got on it. I don't know what's going on, really, with it anymore. I'm pretty certain there's a man at Rockstar being paid at this very minute to merely say, "Oh, come on!" every time something tries to get fixed, because there's a new problem that comes along every step of the way. But we'll get into those problems in a second, and we'll talk about, or try to talk about, the experience we've had online with it, as positively as we can, because we always like to be a bit positive here on Talk Play. We always like to
There's
look for the
nothing
good.
worse than the stereotypical angry, raging nerd. I hate that stereotype.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
They
Fuck those
suck!
guys. They make me so fucking mad.
But yeah, let's focus on the good. What's the good in it? Fox, you've probably played the online more extensively than anybody else here.
Yeah, surprisingly, the first day that came out, finished work, came straight home from work, popped it on. I was probably one in a million that I managed to get on. Most of my friends did. Cowboy didn't, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but
fuck you.
there was me and probably 8 or 9 of us all on at the same time. Absolutely fucking brilliant. First thing we did, stole a bus, 6 people in the back of the bus, driving up the main street with a gangster bus. Cops couldn't stop us, trying to wrap us off the road. We were in a bus, they couldn't stop us for shit. We were just driving the road, capping people, having a wonderful time. It was great. Second night, couldn't get back on. Third night, lost my character. Fourth night, recreated my character and couldn't get on for another 2 nights. 7th or 8th night, finally got on, but lost that character as well. And I think the night before last, I started again with a new character, hoping this one survived because I haven't turned the console on since 2 days ago.
Hopefully you'll get the patch beforehand, and the new patch that got released today.
Yes, today.
Because this is the second patch. As you're listening to this, they may release a third.
We never know.
But yeah, hopefully that'll actually stabilise it.
Well, so it seemed relatively stable when I put it on as of Thursday when we were recording this.
What are we doing recording this? Let's go play. Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
Yeah, overall, the online, when it works, is so much fun.
Yeah.
I've played on my own a fair bit, and that's not quite so much fun. You get a lot of griefers, people being dicks. The missions, obviously, not so much fun with randomers. But when you're on with 3 or 4 mates, probably the most fun I've had online since Halo Reach.
Oh, fair play.
Oh, it's certainly up there. Certainly up there when it works.
What, better than Borderlands?
Oh no, I take that back. Yeah, no, Borderlands 2 has been a lot of fun.
If you'd have had your hand out, I'd have slapped it. I've only been able to play it 3 times. It's only let me. I just kept getting taken from the airport by Lamar. Oh my god.
Yeah, having just built my 3rd character, I'm so sick of watching that opening cutscene. Maybe if you've watched it once, they could let you skip it. It's probably there so they can load the world or something.
See, it's kind of funny how he talks to start off with. It's like, yeah, pimp. Who your pimp? Who your player, pimp? Pimp. Yeah, bitch. And it's like, haha.
Lamar,
then
where are you? Lamar?
Once you get to know it a bit, it's like, he isn't making any fucking sense. I hate this guy's guts.
I played it so much, created my character so many times, and went and made a female character, which is something I rarely ever do in games.
Yeah, I never.
And it does change. The dialogue does change. It gets a bit more sexualised. Go, I don't mean it like that, girl. Bitch, blah blah blah, whatever. Really. I don't know.
That's great, Lamar. go have a bag of crisps.
You lanky streak of piss.
But yeah. What do we think of the activities online?
They're great with people, like Fox said. They're great with people because I like doing interesting and amusing things. Like last night, we had to take out some bad guys to get some cocaine. So I got my friends to put loads of sticky bombs on the car. I drove full pelt at them, leapt out the car, and as it rolled in between them, he set them off. And I love doing stuff
Wicked.
like that with my friends. That's so much fun.
That's proper
But
action movie, that is.
Oh, it was great. But if I'd have been on my own, I probably would have done that as well, but I'd have set it off myself.
And you laughed to yourself and
I'd-
felt really shamed because
Yeah,
you were laughing to yourself.
I'd laughed and laughed and then looked around the cold, empty living room and I was sat in my underpants.
That's an image that's going to stay with us
That's
for
an
a bit.
insight into the life of the cowboy.
It's a lonely pants-filled life.
But yeah, the missions themselves online, I think, are like really like
Standard.
they're standard. They're
I
GTA
think because we're still
3.
quite low level. I know what you mean. Like at the minute, it's like drive here, kill these guys, take their drugs, and take it back to G. Yeah, okay, I've done that probably 15 or
I
16
got
times
to do
now.
one of the top end missions last night where you have to steal some helicopters off. I think the Ballers had helicopters. It doesn't make any sense. Maybe it was what are the Merryweather? I think
Merryweather
it's probably
Security.
Merryweather Security. You steal some helicopters, blow up some other helicopters with these helicopters, and then take them to Leicester. And that was one of the top end missions. And it was still go here, get this, come back.
I guess.
I'm
It
surprised
was,
at
just, it was just a bit harder.
I'm surprised at how many activities have made the transition over. Like golf's there, tennis is there.
Yeah,
You've
that's
got arm
cool.
wrestling in there.
That's
That's an
cool.
online exclusive.
That's come from Red Dead, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And I know you can go around the back of the ammunition stores and target practice together and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
that's wicked. That
Oh,
is.
I like
shooting
that.
competitions.
Oh, sorry, I thought we meant the missions. But yeah,
Oh
the
no, all
others-
the missions and
that-
stuff like Team
every-
Deathmatch and
Oh, in that case, yeah.
Last
Great.
Man Standings and stuff like
But even
that.
so, it's all great.
There's tons of stuff to
with
do.
friends.
Yeah, with
Parachute.
people. But I guess that's why it's online, because it's meant to be done with mates.
Yeah.
The races and stuff I think are particularly fun. If you're hosting, you can choose what vehicles, what kind of weather, whether you can use weapons or not,
Yeah, that's
whether
cool.
the cops are there, oncoming traffic. And at higher levels, you get to like put bounties on people's heads. We were having a wicked time the other night. I can't remember if you guys were on. I think it was me and friend Paul and Welsh Elf. And some guy was just putting ridiculously high bounties on other people's heads. And this guy was like, oh, here's 11,000 on this guy's head. And because there were like 6 of us in the server, all 6 of us just fucking went for this guy. It doesn't matter who got it. And then we'd split the money afterwards. That was so much fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then other times you get people on there that just give me constant fucking grief and blowing up my car
So
and just being
The
dicks.
missions that surprise me that I enjoy doing, I like doing the sort of go here with your friends and get this. But I've really liked you're on with 7 other friends. Okay, we're going to split you into teams, and you've all got a race to get this. And they're quite like, there's a crooked cop, you got to go get him, or there's a van you got to go get. They're all the same sort of thing. But fuck, are they great fun.
I remember the first one we did. It bloody hell, there was a right pile up at the end.
Oh, yeah,
it
we
was
had to
great.
get a briefcase or something.
Yeah,
Were you on
it
that
was,
one?
it was the
And-
Cookie Cup one.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I didn't do
you
that
have to
one.
deliver it to a house to the east of Los Santos.
And it's you versus another team, and the cops are trying to get it as well at the same time.
Ah, that's
And
awesome.
That was a 20-car pipe outside this one little house.
It was just piles of cars. It was ridiculous. I mean, if one of us had a grenade, because we were all still like level 2 or 3 at this point.
Yeah.
It takes ages to blow up the cars on this, which is a good thing in itself. You're not changing your cars every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
But if one person had a grenade, it would have been like 20, 30 cars gone up in one huge nuclear mushroom cloud.
Oh, great.
But yeah, that was awesome fun.
Yeah, I'll say it's one of the best experiences you can possibly get. It's certainly one of the most complete experiences you can get online. You can't go online and not find something that you're fun to do.
But they've even got. I didn't realise they had a survival mode, like hordes.
Yeah, they got a little horde
And
mode in there.
that's great.
There's a lot of money to be
That's
made in that,
a
apparently.
lot of fun. And
You
yeah,
can
great.
sort of die without consequence of losing money, and I don't get which ones you can lose consequence of money in, and which ones you can't, and this, that, and the other. But like I said, if you can't find fun in the horde mode, but you can find fun in the team deathmatch. If you can't find fun in that, you can find fun
Yeah.
just tracking
If
about.
you're a shooter, then you've got the death matches. If you prefer racing games, you've got the racing games. If you're a sports person, you've got golf and there's so much to do.
There should be enough for everyone. There's people. I've read a lot of complaints online of various people.
Probably
And
just
I-
people who are just so pissed off with all the issues.
It's not that. It's people complaining that they can't do things like go into every building. And it's like,
Well, that's just
how
too.
much do you want? What's there going to be in there?
Yeah, what you don't want to do? Just like RPG style, walk to somebody's house. What are you doing looking for my drawers? Oh, just see if I could.
No, you found a sword and 3 gold pieces.
You've got some gil. What?
Yeah. No, it's just very well. It's very well crafted as a world. It's just a shame it's had the problems it's had due to just demand. I mean, you could never. I know we keep saying, well, I say we as a collective say, oh, just get more servers, but you can never overestimate the demand. You never sort of go, well, we only need this many servers because we're expecting this many people on, because you never know.
I think they could have. I think they could have done better because they can see how many people have bought the game. They can see how many people are playing their game, like that are connected to Xbox Live.
Yeah.
And they can see how many people have made crews. And they can.
Yeah, I suppose they got that level of data, but not many people do have.
They've had so many people making crews that the actual website, the social clubs, crashed. It's not just the service for the game, but it's for their website as well. I personally don't know anything about servers. I don't know what it takes.
Our crew's actually pretty high up in them.
Yeah, I thought that too. Because we've got like 10 or 11 of us. If anyone wants to join the crew, it's Legion of Scallywags, and we'd be happy to have every last one of you fuckers.
Super plug.
Yeah. Yeah, Legion of Scallywags was a silly name. Yeah, so I don't know anything about servers. I don't know how they run. I don't know what they require. So I can't really say, oh, they could have prepared for it, because I don't know if they could. Or I can't say, oh, well, they couldn't possibly have prepared for it, because I don't know.
As I'm aware, in basic terms, it's like buying rooms. It's like having lots of rooms. And then they get people will get put into random rooms.
Well, there we go then. That's how it works. So what they need is more rooms.
They need.
I'm going to email them because maybe they don't know that.
just say, dear Rockstar.
Maybe no one's thought more rooms.
Tweet Rockstar support. More rooms, please. Thank you very much.
I walk into Rockstar HQ. I go up to Scotland. I walk in. Hey, what do you want? And I just say, more rooms.
Little light bulb will go over his head.
And they go, aye.
You've just saved Rockstar!
Fucking hell.
Somebody get that man $1 million.
Some top level wrestlers in there.
Sorry,
have my favourite haggis.
What I am getting annoyed with though is people that are like, fuck Rockstar, fuck them. And it's like, hold on a second. They have still made an incredible game. Incredible game. It's still a great game. There's not.
You've had 2 weeks with a single player. You can't have not got some goodwill from that if you were going on the online.
That's another thing that kind of bugs me. I mean, I'm as upset as everyone about not being able to get on. I mean, I have sat down, not been able to get on for 3 hours, and gone, oh, this is ridiculous. Throwing my controller and throwing a hissy fit. But actually stepping away from that for just a second, I'm thinking, I bought a game that I've spent loads of time on, is wicked fun, and if I can't wait 2 more weeks after waiting the last 5 years, then maybe I'm not giving them the credit they deserve.
Also, it's free. All the missions are free. They're bringing out more missions which are free.
But then, like you said, you probably wouldn't have bought the game if it hadn't been... It's the same with me. I wasn't really blown away since Vice City. I haven't really been blown away by a Grand Theft Auto game. And I probably wouldn't have bought this, but the online looks so good. I went for it, and yeah, I'm totally enjoying the single player, so I get that. That's fine. But saying, oh, well, it was free. Not really, because I only bought it for that. I'm getting the thing that was free, really. I'm enjoying that.
So what you're saying is, you got this thing you paid for, it's not quite working, but it's this amazing single player that you got for free.
Exactly. They're like, you know what, sorry we fucked up the multiplayer, have some great fun with single player. You can still chat to your friends, you just can't see them.
Although I found every time, and I've done it, I've found it with both of you guys, when we jump into a party, we're all playing the single player, it won't happen again, because if we're all on, we'll go onto online, but when we're all on the single player, so it'll be like, me and Fox in a party. How are you doing, man? Oh, yeah, I'm just doing this, I'm just doing that. Oh, that's cool. Oh, what are you up to? Oh, doing this, doing that. Okay. And then, gradually, the conversation becomes less and less frequent. Because you're getting so engrossed in what you're doing that you forget that you've got a friend.
That's it. You'd be like the worst friend ever. If you were in the same room together and I just like wasn't talking to you, you'd think, what a dick. But if you know they're playing Grand Theft Auto, you're like, he's probably just enjoying
You say that. Day one, you and me, at your place, Fox.
Yeah, that's true.
We were sat, TV here, TV there. It was just at the right angles to each other. We sat like semi-back to back.
8 hours.
8 hours, we said about 2 words. And they were probably like, food? Yeah.
KFC and back. Yeah,
that was our episode for the day.
My living room is quite often becomes the LAN room where we just get everyone together with all the TVs and the Xboxes and just hook them all up. Speaking of which, I dug out from my mum's garage my old original Xbox. I was going to say Xbox One and realised that that's not right.
No.
The original Xbox, 4 controllers and Time Splitters 2. So I think at some point we all need to head down mine, have a couple of beers and play some Time Splitters 2 because that is classic multiplayer.
Classic.
Yes.
Yes.
So, in conclusion,
GTA good.
GTA is good. It's good.
I would give it 8.9 out of 10 muffs.
That's a lot of muff.
That's a whole lot of muff.
I'd give it 6 beer cans out of 25 lager kegs.
That's really bad review.
That's awful.
I'd give it 6 squirrels out of 7.
Right, reviewing aside,
Very concise review aside.
very concise review. It's 35 minutes of review. That's quality. That is.
Holy tit farts.
Oh, yeah, tip
IGN
farts
did it in 2 minutes.
2 minutes. They said, yeah, good. But we'll have a little bit of a break and then we'll come back and then we'll be talking a little bit about the news and a little bit about what could we replace in GTA Online as our future games. So we'll catch you in a bit. Hello and welcome back to Talk Play Podcast. We're going to kick it off with the news, and firstly I want to ask you, how do you all feel about Russia?
I freaking love Russia.
I like Tattoo. They were Russian.
My favourite part of the whole idea of Russia is how they're always the bad guy in games.
And you've segued that beautifully into what Russia wants, which is patriotic games. They want devs to come up with some really patriotic games to show off.
When has Russia ever come out with any games ever? Let alone just patriotic games. I'm sure they have. I'm speaking out of ignorance here, not stating a fact. What games has Russia ever come out with that have hit big?
I think they mean like American and British developers should stop portraying them as...
They want us to make some games that make them look good. Hey Russia, how about you make your own games where you look good?
But they're doing that also. But on the same flip side, they're willing to give grants and tax concessions and the rest of it to developers who make a historically accurate representation of Russian history.
That's awesome, man. I think that's kind of cool.
Well, they're developing a game at the minute based on Russian aviation.
At least they didn't want Germans don't want us to do it. That'd be a different story.
Fucking hell, yeah.
Russians, yeah, go for that, man. If they wanted to pay other people to make games for them.
Call of Duty. The only Call of Duty I've played all the way through the campaign was World of War, and the Russians were fucking bossing that. I don't know what they're talking about. The last bit where you were like, put the flag in, yeah. When he'd been shot, it was like even though I wasn't like immersed in it. At that point, that last little bit where I was ploughing through and I planted the flag to say, "This is Russian land, fuck you." It was great.
Well, so the main game they've been referring to is the Company of Heroes series, which they say it's the idea they're trying to portray it historically accurately, and it's Russia being painted in a bit of a bad light. But Russians just come off as really good villains. I mean, all the Modern Warfare series have, particularly
They're
2
usually
and
cool
3.
villains as well. It's not like they're like, oh look, we're the bad guys. I mean, Metal Gear Solid 3, again, coming back to that. The bad guys were a lot of Russians in that, but they were freaking cool. Spetsnaz and that looked totally badass in the whole game.
Yeah, that's like I say. I think they would just want to.
I'd be happy being a villain as long as everyone makes me a cool villain.
I mean, it's not necessarily. I think it's more of a historicalness of it. I think like young Russian gamers sort of just take the Western side of those conflicts and sort of just see it from that side. So like, I think the example that was used was the idea of Pearl Harbor. Like the film Pearl Harbor is like almost this is how America won the World War for everybody. It's like, well, no, there were other people going on.
Yeah, it wasn't just America was sitting there. Japan has bombed us. We must fight Japan and maybe the Nazis.
Like in their heads, it's like World War only kicked off when Japan did the bombing. It's until then it was all peaceful. It's like, fucking hell, war's starting now. America's in. Shirt comes off.
America,
fuck yeah.
There's a lot of just a random historical fact, but a lot of Americans actually fought in like the Belgian army and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They left their army and joined up. So that's quite cool.
So yeah, Russia, even though you may be some of the bad guys sometimes, we love you. We reckon you're fucking cool. Particularly the bad guys.
But stop worrying about games and start being less homophobic.
Yeah, a little bit less of that. Let the rainbow flag fly. You know what I'm saying? Right.
Let them bomb.
Let them bomb. Right, on to some more positive news. Some stuff coming out of Square Enix. Final Fantasy 6 is coming to iOS this winter.
Because we haven't already played enough Final Fantasy on every other platform ever.
I'll be fair, I'm excited about 6.
Six is really good.
I keep trying to play it on my PS3, which probably now defeats the point of what I'm about to say, because I'd love to play it on iOS. I think the idea of what they're trying to do with that is a modified version, they're saying remake, but I'm not sure how far they're going to take it. I love that they update the visuals a little bit. See, I'm looking a bit long in the tooth, but they're talking about making grinding a bit easier on there. So you don't have to slog as long to get levels up and this, that, and the other.
That's kind of the point, though.
Yeah.
You know, you get the reward for the time you put in.
But it comes back to your thing about having a handheld game. You just don't have the time sometimes. You just want like a bit.
I guess, yeah. We're really on the iOS, yeah.
Yeah, and they say they do that. They might pave way for Final Fantasy VII to come onto another system.
The only one I'd ever be interested in playing again would be Final Fantasy 9.
See, that's what I'm hoping they do. Maybe they just follow through to 8 and 9.
I absolutely love that. And if they could do that with some nice high-def looking little chibi characters, I'd be really, really happy with that. Even though I've played it like 12 times across every different platform ever.
It wouldn't take much scrubbing, to be fair.
No, it still looks okay. But yeah, it'd be nice to have it like nice little high-def little characters running around.
Well, it's better, the way it looks now would be bare bones. They've got the bare bones and they just render it up nice.
Well, that's it. More excitingly, Dragon Quest games are coming also to iOS and Android.
Finally, some decent... we've never really had many Dragon Quest games released over here, apart from the one on the PS2, which was awesome.
Well, I say the first three never saw a release in the EU at all. But yeah, they're going all the way up to, in fact, the PS2 game. If they bring Dragon Quest 8 out, I'm in. I don't care what the price is. I'll pay 15, 20 quid for it.
That's good, man.
And hopefully, maybe... no, I can't say that, can I? Because Dark Chronicle is level 5, not Square. Shit. By the way, level 5, if you want to do Dark Chronicle, I'm in love with that game. Please do it. Redub it up. Or do something with it. Just bring it to me. I'm desperate for that game.
Give us access to...
Oh, it was the greatest. Oh, I'll do a bit on it in another podcast, but Dark Chronicle is fucking wicked. But yeah.
Badass.
And finally, from the old Square Enix side of things, they're doing a collective initiative, which essentially means that like developers can come to them with ideas.
What you say, we'll steal.
Go to them with ideas. The community will then vote on whether they like those ideas, kind of like a green light. And then Square will give them a handout. But they said, probably more excitingly, that they might have a bit of artistic license with some old Eidos properties.
Okay.
Which could be good.
Sounds like a bit of a weird Kickstarter kind of thing, but whatever gets more people building them, I guess.
Well,
it's a bit weird that, like, that there was a point where, like, Square weren't releasing lots of games over here, but they tend to be quite good. And now, all of a sudden, they're, like, on every game, they've got their hands in, like, all sorts of, like, game franchises.
I think it's ever since they acquired Eidos, to be fair. Because they got Eidos, and then they got all the Tomb Raider stuff. They got all the... Deus Ex, Hitman, new Deus Ex as well. That's on the way.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the last one. It was kind of flawed in a lot of ways, but I really enjoyed it.
I could not get started on it. The amount it got hyped up.
It looked beautiful though. There was no... I mean, it did look beautiful. I loved it so much I went back and completed it on hard mode without killing anyone, without being seen. It got to a point where I was just like grinding for hours and hours just to get that. I actually think I got right to the end, but I don't think I actually ever pushed the final wave and got that achievement. I might have to go back and do that.
Maybe, but I'm a big fan of the first one. They're doing a redubbed one for the Wii U this month. And
something else for the one person who owns the Wii U to play.
Yes!
That would be nice for you.
Apparently they fixed the... Before I knock the can over and destroy my laptop for the second time in a month. Let's keep that away.
Easy now.
It's the reason why we've not done a podcast for nearly 2 months. Sorry, again, to the laptop. But they've redone the battles on Deus Ex for the boss fights, which are always tedious and always just keep hitting him until he falls down type deal. And they look really exciting in lots of ways to do it. So I might be in for it, I might not be, who knows. It's just... It all depends.
If you ever fancy giving it another go, I've got the collector's edition at home you can borrow.
I've got a copy of it. I got Oz's copy because he was the same as me. He got so far and sort of went, meh. You want to play it? And I
Fair
went,
enough.
yeah, okay. And I started playing it and thought, this is okay. Meh.
Fair dues.
Right, I guess we should talk Valve now. They had 3 announcements about a week or 2 ago. None of which had the number 3 in it, which, is very disappointing, but they were all sort of hardware based. First of all was the Steam OS. Free Linux based OS designed to bring Steam games to the living room.
On one hand, I think that's a really great idea. I'm up for that. On the other hand, I've already got Steam running through my PC, which is synced up to my TV anyway.
Yeah.
Like, whenever I'm playing Civ or whatever, I can sit back on my sofa with a wireless keyboard and mouse. And also, I think it couldn't really have come at a worse time. Like, everyone's already spent so long getting so stoked and saving up all their money for either a PS3 or an Xbox. And they go, oh, well, that Steam thing looks kind of cool. However, I've kind of already invested a shitload of time and money getting ready for the next gen release. If they'd have announced it 6 months ago or in 6 months' time, you might have more people interested. But then I suppose you got people who are PC gamers who are not going to be interested in consoles anyway.
Pure PC game. I think we should mention quickly, having come off the back of Grand Theft Auto 5 stuff, they've as good as announced Grand Theft Auto 5 for the PC, and it's just going to be a case of it's going to come out apparently next year around the start of the new fiscal year. So that's probably about April, May, June-ish time.
I think that's cool, man. You're going to have a pretty heavy system to be able to run that, but then most people who play PC games...
I suppose that would just pave the way for a next-gen version to go on top of that. I think they just want to keep those sales for next year. So
it sounds ridiculous, and it's like, shut up and take my money, but if they did announce Grand Theft Auto 5 for the next gen for my PS4, I'll probably pick it up, even though I will have played and completed it on
probably.
my Xbox.
It's probably going to be the case. But I suppose the most exciting thing for me on it is you can share games with your family and friends. Share those digital games. Up until now, you can't because they're assigned to your account. You can now share those, which that's exciting to me.
Yeah, totally. It's like the exact opposite of what Xbox were originally trying to do. They're like, no, this is your copy, and you can't even so much as lend it to a friend. But like you and I, when we play Steam games, we usually, for the most part, play them together or share them with sort of like, oh, I've got a copy of this, I've got a copy of Deus Ex you can have, or I've got a spare copy of, this, that, and the other.
Yeah, Torchlight.
Torchlight, which is awesome. We really need to get back on that. We've got
we'll get on to
so many games on the go at the minute. It's a good time to be a gamer.
Really good time at the minute. Really, really a lot
In
of.
fact, the last 2-3 years actually have been pretty consistently awesome. I've always had something to play.
Yeah, that's it. There's not been too much of a dry patch with games. Second announcement from Valve. The announcement I'm least excited about in the entire world. Steam machines. Machines that run Steam OS.
Isn't that called a computer?
That's what I thought. But apparently these are like super... Well, they're not super high-end. They're just sort of... They've got a big range and they're going to have... as far as I understand it, Valve aren't developing these machines themselves. They have prototypes that vary vastly in terms of price and quality and whatever. And they've got a bit of a... I suppose raffle, you could call it, going on at the minute for these machines. And at the minute, there's 300 prototypes, and they've got so many wildly varying specs. I mean, just looking in the mirror, there's about 3 different graphic cards, 4 different processors, about 18 different augmentations of RAM.
It seems really weird that in the age where we've got this upcoming Gaikai cloud streaming service, where even a real shoddy rundown computer is going to be able to stream beautiful looking, crisp, clear shit.
Yeah.
It seems really weird that Valve are going, here's an idea. When all these consoles are coming out and everyone's already saved up all their money, let's also release our own kind of console-y sort of thing that only runs Steam stuff. But you're going to need to pay a shitload of money for it, and there's going to be loads of different variants. Why not?
But is it, because I'm not a PC gamer, is it going to make that sort of thing a lot more accessible to people like me?
I think it would only make any kind of sense if it was cost-wise more beneficial. The point of a console is that you can play pretty fucking decent games, but at a
you don't have to worry about it running
price.
out of spec or anything. I know I could go and pick up any Xbox game and it will play on my Xbox, whereas walking into a store where the people don't necessarily know much about computers, I don't really know that much about it, And I'm like, is this going to run on my computer? I've probably bought my fair share of PC games that my computer just refuses to play.
It was like when I tried to get Minecraft on that old laptop.
Yeah, it was like, no, fuck you, Cowboy.
The big middle finger popped up. The GTA 5 middle finger.
The GTA middle finger of justice. Bosh!
Fuck you, Cowboy. You ain't doing shit tonight.
But yeah, I just can't see the point, I guess, because the main selling point apparently is they're upgradable. And again, you could say that's like any other PC, or do you go out and decide, do you want to design your PC? That's going to be upgradable when you get it back home.
It's a dedicated thing, though, I suppose. It's not.
Yeah.
The PC is a multi-function machine that you'd use for all sorts of things, whereas this would be your Steam box. It will go in your Steam box corner.
And run off the Steam OS, which I'm assuming would have no access to Excel spreadsheets and stuff. Not that most people who are going to want a gaming console need to do their work stuff on it, but for me in general, if I'm going to afford to get another computer, it's going to be, I need a new computer, I need to be able to keep my work on it as well. I'm going to get a decent Windows or a Mac, be able to keep all my work stuff on it, and download Steam and play all my Steam games.
I'll give you a tip now, if you want to play games on your PC, do not get a Mac.
Yeah.
There's such a weirdly just lack of depth and variety at the minute, it's untrue. There's stuff I am looking forward to coming out to, and I'll talk about that in the pick and mix in a minute. But it's just, there's so many good stuff, like Mafia 2. I got a free download code for it because of the golden joysticks. I voted in that. But my Mac side won't run that. It has to be on the Windows side, which is legal.
Kiss my Mac side.
Kiss my Mac side, it said. But yeah, so I just don't see the point. I can just see myself building my own machine and then just downloading the free OS and slapping that on there.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. We don't necessarily have anyone in the group that is a dedicated PC gamer, but you and I play Steam quite a bit. Like we've got our games on it. Like we play Torchlight and
I played quite a few games. Like I've got the Angry Video Game Nerd as my newest game that I've downloaded.
That looks really good.
It's hard, but it's good.
It looked hard as fuck, but it looks really cool. I'd enjoy playing that actually.
Yeah, I'll have to give you a go on that at some point or another.
Yeah, that'd be sweet, man.
I would have given you a go today, but I didn't bring my controller with me. It's definitely a game that needs a controller.
Yeah.
Rather
He's
than
got
the
a
old
little NES.
Yeah, the old NES
shooter,
black zapper thing.
apparently
Yeah,
the
it's
new
really
PS4 controller is going to be compatible with Windows.
Yeah, right off the bat.
Which I think is really, really cool. It's like Microsoft and Sony actually doing something together and not being bitches about it.
Running through the meadow, hand in hand.
It's so weird though, because it's like in 2014 you'll be able to use your Xbox One controller with it. Oh, you can use this bloody PS4 controller right off the bat. Here you go. Go on, have a few Steam games. You
confused
cheeky devils. Whilst we're on controllers, the final announcement is to do with the Steam controller, which is got a unique design to say the least.
Yeah, it's got like 36 buttons on it or something crazy, isn't it?
No, it's
got a huge amount of buttons. I remember seeing before. Let me have a quick look on here.
Well, what it is, it's got, instead of sticks, it's got 2 trackpads.
Okay.
And apparently these are specially designed trackpads with, mega waffle.
What I've always thought when I've been playing with controllers is I need more waffle.
Yeah, it's just mega waffle. It's just like, oh, this has got waffle. And it's just like, oh, waffle has it. Waffle. And you're just like, oh, it's fucking trackpads, isn't it? But it's got these trackpads. And then
not 30, it's 16. 16 buttons, which I think is really cool. Like, if you wanted a PC game, you've got to hotkey the buttons. I think 16 is a good number to have on a controller. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, man.
No, it's fine. I was just saying, you get to the point of just the basic design of it. It's got a touchpad in the middle of the screen. It's got an X, Y, and A, B button either side of the touchpads, in between the trackpads. It's got shoulder buttons, and it's got a line of a couple of buttons on the bottom. There's a lot going on, but I think the idea is you can do it with any game.
Enough thumbsticks as touchpads.
See,
I think
the thing is, the lesson that I've learned from playing the N64 around my friend's house is less buttons is better. That was
shit me, that's a wall, isn't it? That controller. It's just like, here's all the buttons in the world. What the fuck?
How do I hold this thing? It's got 3 handles. I've only got 2 hands.
Right, now play Perfect Dark. What?
Oh god, but it's, to me, it looks like an exciting innovation. It looks, if it can work with certain RTS like XCOM, for instance, which is my all-time favourite game at the minute on Steam, because it's so good. It's honestly so good. But if you can work with that in some kind of way that makes sense, like if I'm using like the touchpad to move the camera about,
I see, yeah, that is cool.
touching stuff about, and if you've got specialised controls, and then that's the point of that controller, but you can customise it for any game known to mankind.
Yeah, I think the whole point of it was it's got 16 buttons so that you can hotkey them to whatever you want. You don't necessarily have to have those for movement. You can you can set any option to any of the buttons, which is kind of cool.
It'll probably end up being one of those things that, like, the first one won't work especially well, and they might do another one in a few years' time that it does actually do what they want.
That'd be the Valve way, because Steam didn't work particularly well off the bat, and now it's just.
Well, I remember
brilliant.
5 or 6 years ago, anything with touchscreen was completely and utterly poo. And it wasn't until the iPhone came out, or the iPod Touch, I go, oh man, this actually works. And now everything is touchscreen. And I think they tried to go, oh, okay, well, in the last sort of 6 or 7 years, everything's tried to get rid of thumbsticks. You've got all the iOS stuff and phone games, and really, you need thumbsticks. So until someone finds a way of doing it right, once they do it right, they'll be gone forever and we'll never see them again. But until someone actually gets it right...
Like someone at work today asked me, oh, have you got a Connect? I said, yes.
So angrily. Have you got a
yes?
Yes!
Sort of rolled my eyes and said yes. And they said, oh, is it worth getting one? And I said, what
do you want mine?
what do you want it for? To play games? No.
I will give you money to take mine away.
It is not worth getting one. If you're going to be doing Zumba, fucking carry on. If you're going to be doing dance, just dance, you carry on. It's better than the Wii. But no, it's not a gaming thing. And I think it's going to take a few connects to get that right.
Yeah, they're pretty confident in the same way that the Wii was. They're like, oh, here's a Wii controller. It's perfect one-to-one motion. What you need here is a little adapter that goes on the back of the Wii remote, and it gives you perfect one-to-one motion. With the Wii U, what you've got here is a controller that gives you perfect one-to-one motion. I think still not quite right. And with the Kinect, it was like, this thing is going to revolutionise gaming. It'll be brilliant. Except at the minute, it doesn't really work. But what you can do is when the new Xbox comes out, there'll be a new Kinect, and that will definitely work. And 6 months' time, they're probably going to go, this Kinect thing, we've got a new one coming out, and it's going to be brilliant.
Well,
maybe it will.
I say I've got some stuff on bloody Kinect Spies and shit like that, but to be honest, I'm just getting bored looking at it.
Even discussing the Kinect makes me mad.
I can't understand. I don't know whether it's because developers just looked at it and went, oh, that's a nice idea. I look forward to what other developers will do with that, and just no one's done anything with it. It's like been the biggest waste of time. I've not had it plugged in for months and months.
Probably years. I think what it is people have gone, the developers are like, okay, well, we can either invest shitloads of time and money and get this camera thing working really, really well. However, the only people who are going to buy it is the 9 or 10% of people who actually have a Kinect. Or we could spend that money building a game that works really, really well without it, and then everyone who's got an Xbox will be able to play it, and they've gone, I'm just going to spend the money elsewhere. It's not worth investing for stuff that no one's going to buy.
I think it also... they don't quite take into account that not everyone lives in big 30 metre by 30 metre rooms that are like all bifocal, bifold.
In general, like American houses are much bigger than
studio apartments that reflects onto a rising sun.
I think in general, like American houses are much bigger than houses in the UK. But then we've got much bigger houses than say people in Japan. I feel sorry for those guys who are like in a broom cupboard. Oh, my Kinect does not work. Not that anyone over there is going to buy a Microsoft product. Maybe we're talking about the PlayStation Eye.
All right.
PlayStation what?
PlayStation what?
That's even worse than the Kinect somehow.
Right, quick little news blast. First gameplay trailer in English, voiceover trailer for Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes. All very, very impressive. I've been talking to our friend the Prospector about it. He said he wasn't overly impressed with the way you mark up people on there. But to me, it's very clever. It's like the Splinter Cell thing. I think you and me were talking about as well, Cowboy. It's that kind of, you mark a man and then you can follow him about. And because tech's so advanced now, you can actually see the way he's looking, and you don't need to rely on like vision cones and stuff like that for a radar. And it looks really, really impressive. It's showing off in the day and it's showing off at night, different weather conditions.
That's cool.
If it works the same, if it's an improvement on the Splinter Cell thing, it's going to be brilliant because that works really well.
Yeah, that's it. It just looks like this is new stealth. This is going to be even more tactical thinking stealth. And what's nice about Metal Gear, as opposed to something like Tenchu, where if I get caught out in Tenchu, I'm fucked because I can't properly fight in Tenchu.
No one can, especially on the old ones.
Right, hit the button as quick as you can.
You have to stop to turn.
You can hear the cranking of the gears of the character.
I'm a ninja, but I can't turn.
But instead of that, I'll have an array of like stealthy guns. It's like, ba-dum, right, moving on. It's got to keep track of all these guys going on. I think that's brilliant, and I'm always a big fan of Metal Gear. I'm certain we all are.
Yep.
It's a fantastic series. Last of Us story DLC coming for this winter.
I'm really sorry, I've still got your copy of Last of Us.
Do you know what? It's gotten so bad. I've actually bought a digital copy of it now.
Oh man, that's weak sauce. Sorry about that.
That's cool.
I've
got Tokyo Jungle with it as well.
I'm still not. I still haven't completed it, but I think as it's looking, it looks like a nice story in its own right. It's like the Bioshock Infinite. It's such a nice, complete story in its own right. I don't think it really needs DLC, although I think Bioshock's gone a different way, and they're doing the next one set in Rapture, aren't they? Which is like a different
they're doing
universe thing.
To be fair, the DLC they're doing, it's going to be with a completely new character, and it'll intertwine with the world. And it sounds like it could be during the outbreak, which could be really, really interesting.
I guess that's cool, because it's not trying to invade a story that that's sort of gone all the way around.
Building to the mythos.
But by the sound of it, the
Bioshock Infinite stuff is like really, really interesting. It's kind of like a noir film type deal.
Yeah.
Plus, I really love the idea of going back to Rapture before it got shitted up.
I think it will probably bridge Infinite to the original.
To a degree, yeah.
Like, sort of make it...
Worlds collide.
Because a lot of people are like, oh, well, really? Like, obviously, Bioshock Infinite didn't do that well. No one was really happy with Columbia because the first opportunity they've gone back to Rapture. I'm like, I'm not sure if you can look at it that way. Rapture was such a great world. Columbia was great, but I think that was everything you needed there. Whereas it's going to be really interesting seeing...
Actually, I think the review I read for the second Bioshock game was, why is this back in Rapture?
Yeah, I'm pretty certain it was something like that. I'd say what's exciting to me about it is because obviously Bioshock Infinite came on the wave of the idea of you get to see the decay of the world, and you really sort of didn't. You sort of just hop through time. Decay had happened, and you were just slapped in the middle of it. Yeah. I think what's nice this time is that you got this like New Year's party going on, and then decay is going to happen. It's going to kick off royally, and you're going to be there for it, and that's going to be really wicked.
Yeah, that'll be good.
But there we go. That's my feelings on the issue.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the Last of Us DLC. I'm just hoping it doesn't try and get into the story that's...
I don't think it will do. I think there'll be like vague references to the character in a similar way like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. does like vague references.
Some really, really vague references.
Oh, yeah.
That superhero with the hammer that we all know and love.
What everybody used to fear was a billionaire with an iron suit.
Don't say his name.
You don't
it's
know
Iron Person.
I really want to like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm just sitting there waiting for something to actually happen.
I just wish they'd have such a thoroughly unlikable main character. She's horrible. The two kids, the two sciencey nerd people, the boy
I
and the
knew
girl.
you liked Simmons somehow. I actually know the girl's character's name. Simmons.
Very well done.
Thank you.
At first, when it first started, I was like, oh no, the two scientists are like fucking 14 years old. I know they're like 20 or whatever.
Yeah.
Why have some kids? It's so annoying when they do that. But actually, I quite like them. They're quite funny, a bit quirky and interesting characters. The girl, whatever her freaking name is, the hacker in inverted commas.
Hacker chick.
Look at me.
Hacker chick.
Live in my van. I can hack super security. Why? Never mind why. I live in my van. How interesting I am. Fuck off.
But in the same time, you've got the... I'm a lone wolf.
Oh, he's such a dick.
I don't play well with others, if you get what I mean.
And she says the same thing. I don't play well with others either.
Like, well, maybe
we should have sex and get it over with.
Maybe we shouldn't play with each other. Maybe we should.
Yeah, you can. That's the one thing in that Whedon universe I can see developing as a relationship. Usually, you can tell by about episode 3 who's going to have a burgeoning relationship and who's not.
Do you know what was totally predictable that everyone could see coming? The flying car. How predictable is that? What the fuck? That car's flying? What the fuck?
My favourite part was it looked great as well.
It looks so cool.
Oh,
but there we
God.
go.
Yeah, but eventually they'll bring in a character that isn't an already established character in the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, I nearly shat my pants when Samuel L. Jackson was actually in it.
That's really cool, but they had it's Charles Guardian Angel, and it's like, he's kind of like Luke Cage. He's very similar to Luke Cage
in the first one, but he's not made an appearance since.
He's not been in it, and also he's not Luke Cage.
He's a very similar person. Why did they just give him that name?
Yeah, it's like that would appease people. You've got a Marvel. You've got an entire universe.
Literally, the Marvel universe. It's a thing.
You've got like 70 odd, probably more, more worth of material. You've got that many characters that there's encyclopedias devoted to it.
Yeah.
Use one of those. Don't make up new ones.
I get that licensing issues can be a bit more difficult for some of the more well-known characters.
Yeah, but they fucking own them. It's Marvel. It's Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Not anything else.
The licensing issues will come into things like Spider-Man.
Yeah, you don't have to use a big...
But you don't have to. You don't have to have mutants. Apparently, Quicksilver's going to be in the next Avengers film and going to be in the next X-Men film. Different actors. And they're not allowed in the Avengers. He's not allowed to talk about the fact that he's a mutant. And in the X-Men, he's not allowed to mention the Avengers.
What the actual fuck is that?
That is the conclusion that the courts came to.
Fuck
You're allowed to use him in this way. Why can't they just say, we will make a fuckload of money if we connect these guys up? We will make shit tons of money. What? In the same way as
I can't stand for this bullshit.
They really wanted Hugh Jackman as Wolverine in the Captain America film, and Hugh Jackman was like, "Fuck yeah!"
That would have been wicked as well because they go so far back. Captain America and Wolverine.
It's a legitimate thing. But whoever owned the rights to Wolverine, which are the people that own the rights to the mutants in the X-Men in the Marvel universe, were like, no. So well, why not? The actor will do it, and you literally get free advertising.
Yeah, you get to sort of reference the next...
Hugh Jackman loves it. He'll do anything, wouldn't he? If you said you could be Wolverine for the next tampon commercial, but we'd be like, yeah, Wolverine!
I'm going to get down the gym.
Get that fucking vein in his arm going.
Jesus
Hugh
Christ.
Jackman's such a dude, man. He's supposed to be like the nicest guy in showbiz as well.
He seems genuinely nice.
He was on Top Gear last season. They had it on. He was so nice. So nice and so genuine.
He's dreamy.
He's my hero. Anyway, fucking hell, we're up. Talk about games again. Destiny Beta 2014.
Oh, I've already... The second I got a text off Naz here while I was at work, just said, pre-order on Amazon, Destiny Beta, early part of next year, first quarter. I was like, didn't even wait to get home. I went outside work, said, sorry manager, I've got a really important call, can I take this outside? Rang Shwenny and said, Shwenny, you have to get on this, please pre-order this for me now. Within 5 minutes, she's like, boom, here's your code. Best girlfriend ever. So I'm getting all over that beta. I haven't done a beta for Bungie since Reach. I missed out beta testing in Halo 4, but I did 3 and I did Reach. And of course we did Gears, which was awesome.
Gears was good.
I hated the beta test for Reach. I thought it was turd, and then
Really?
when the actual game came out, it was so much better.
I quite like the beta because you got to try really wacky things like, here's the jetpack before we sort of took all its power away. Oh, you could fly forever really high. Woohoo!
Yeah, it was turd.
It's the fun of the beta, finding the stuff that sucked and letting them know.
Rightio. I guess we should talk about the pick and mix of it all. Because, of course, we're going to have something to continue on with our lives after Grand Theft Auto again. Inevitably
Is there an after? Is there an after?
There could well be if it keeps failing on me with the online. I'm losing the wheels a little bit. But I think, Fox, of course, you've got something coming very, very soon in the mail.
Yes.
In the post.
I got my special order of Disgaea D2 coming in the post. I'm expecting that any day now. Nippon Ichi, hurry up.
Alright, do you want to just explain why it's not Disgaea 2?
Yeah, it's a bit confusing. We got Disgaea, which is the original, that came out 10 years ago, and it's kind of a bit of a genre-defining strategy RPG. It was the thing that made them. Before that, they were quite a small company, Nippon Ichi, and when they released Disgaea, they've suddenly become this huge multinational thing that make shitloads of different games.
Oh, there's so many good stuff they do.
Loads of them. Hyper Dimension Neptune or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I've got that at home.
Yeah, sweet. Then they did Disgaea 2, which is set in sort of the same, not really like a parallel universe kind of thing, following different characters doing a different story, but having crossover, like the characters from the first one would appear in funny, wacky ways. Then they did Disgaea 3, which again was completely different characters in a kind of like a different universe again, but still had other characters coming in and out, but none of it really followed the same story. It was all a bit wacky and all different dimensions running alongside each other. Then they did Disgaea 4, which again, completely different characters, completely different universe, all really weird. And now, 10 years on, they're actually making a direct sequel to the first one, so it'll have the same characters following on exactly where Disgaea 1 finished.
So it's a follow-on from Disgaea 1 then?
Yeah, but it's not Disgaea 2 because that was something different.
That was something different.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, but yeah, it's going to be totally awesome. I'm expecting that in the post any day now, and that's going to totally absorb my life for the next 6 months.
What kind of extras are you getting with that then?
I get an art book, soundtrack, some collectible cards. They look a bit inappropriate, actually. They're quite
revealing.
Yeah, not straight up sexual, but yeah, they're looking a bit odd. There's 2 mini figurines, which I love. I've got just my whole house is just shelves of figurines. I also get the strategy guide, which is cool. Nice big thick hardback strategy guide.
Lovely.
I think that's everything. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Oh, obviously, and a copy of the game.
Oh yeah,
At least I hope so.
Your finger crossed.
Yeah, and that came out in Europe quite a while ago, but because they ordered it direct from Nippon Ichi America, it's being sent from America because that's the only place you can get the special edition from.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Well, that's all exciting. I get that's you done for the year now. Then that'll be the only game you buy. PS4 games aside, really.
Yeah, I've already got my bundle ready to pick up on the night because I got the first wave.
Did you get the Killzone?
I got the Watchdog one instead.
Oh, you went for just the single player Watchdog.
Because Shwenny wanted to play Watchdog, and although I have gone through this week, I've played Killzone 1, completed it. Killzone 2, completed it. Was really not blown away by either of them. They were both a bit pants.
Just men shooting each other.
Yeah, that's what it was. I had absolutely no idea what was going on with the story.
Like
cyber
Nazis.
They were Nazis in space. However, the people the space Nazis were much more likeable and relatable than the guys you're playing. I've no idea why I've invaded their planet and I'm trying to kill them. And even the ending of Killzone 2, they're like, oh, you can't do this. You know, you can't just come to our planet and think you can take over. And my guy just pulls out a gun and kills him. Like, what are you doing? He was like a political prisoner. You're like, am I actually playing the bad guys here? And I'm on Killzone 3, still no idea why all my guys are being total dicks, but it's aimed like, yeah, these are space Nazis, you've got to kill them because they're bad. I don't know why they're bad. It just seems...
What's disappointing about Killzone is they got a 200-year history. They've actually got this big 200-year history they've made of the game. And it dictates how, like, colonists from Earth came to these 2 planets, Vector and Helgen, and they were trying to colonise them, and they gave them the boot of Vector to live on this horrible, hellish area of Helgen, and this, that, and the other, and they've tried to adapt, which is why they're wearing masks, and they've got this great history. And none of it really gets...
Yeah, see, I played the first 2 games, I have no idea about any of that at all.
It's almost like you're a youth with, like, the Helgen army, almost, and you've just been brought to hate for the sake of hating.
Yeah.
It's not like you've lived that history.
And I just started playing number 3, which I'm actually starting to enjoy. Like, the controls are really backward, and you can't change them in the first 2. The control scheme's just weird. It's like the duck and cover.
The one that I've played I really didn't get on with.
Yeah, well, I had Killzone 2 when I first got my PS3, and I played it for like an hour and thought, no, this isn't for me. Because I thought the bundle I was getting with my PS4 came with the new Killzone, I thought, well, I may as well bone up and play the other 3. I'm actually quite enjoying number 3, because I guess now I'm just used to the backward controls. But yeah, the first 2 I wasn't blown away with at all.
Well, I'd say that the best thing about the original Killzone, which is the only I played Killzone 2, I didn't play 3. I watched someone play 3 for a little bit. But what I liked about Killzone was the multiplayer. It was almost like an introduction to online. I just remember building up these sort of like hatred of the Helgen guys, because I was always the human guys, because they got the best guns. That grenade launcher assault rifle they've got is just basically an M16A. Or, you know, if you were talking gun technical, you might know it better than me, but just a man with a gun and grenade launcher on the bottom of it. But I remember having this
like the dragon launcher on Perfect Dark. Was it a dragon?
I don't know.
Like Yeah, it was just a machine gun.
Noob 2 if you want, if you're going to be a Call of Duty dickhead on me. But what I remember is just there was a character on the team named Mortis. I remember just having a real big rivalry with him, like across months. I'm not talking about a single game. This was like fighting this guy over months, and there was like 40 odd character names that would cycle in, so he wouldn't always be in the battle. But every time Mortis came up in the battle, it's like, well, I'm fucking gunning for him.
He's probably listening to this and crying right now. I remember that bastard. Why was he so mean?
What, some poor AI guy?
Oh, right, I thought you were like playing action against people.
No. No, God, but you know, I like Killzone in the sense I like the scope of it. I like what they tried to achieve with it.
I like the look of it. It looks really nice.
Yeah, space Nazis, man, they look cool.
Yeah, it's got a really good look and a feel to it.
And again, like the first two didn't look that great. The third one actually looks pretty nifty.
It just
I think the second one looked good.
Maybe I'm just a bit spoiled now. Maybe it's a little bit old. Like maybe when it first came out, it looked.
I always remember the lies and the E3 trailer for it because they had a massive big lie about it because this pre-rendered trailer. It's like, this looks like the best game ever, and then they put another trailer out for it like 2 years later. It's like, this isn't the game you promised us. Where's all the good graphics gone? No, we faked that. We faked that. But yeah. In terms of myself, I've got Beyond Two Souls winging its way to me in the post as we speak.
Shwenny's so looking forward to that. I can't bear to tell him that all the reviews have kind of sucked.
Yeah, it's been really. Well, what I found out today is there's an iPhone app for it, and you could use that as a control mechanism instead.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Which is kind of cool.
You control the ghost, don't you?
At times. Only select. It's another one of those sort of game enigma things. Choices only happen at certain times when they let you. You can only use the Ghost Boy when they let you. It's just that kind of. It spouts out choice, but at the same time, it decides to say only when we give it you.
Yeah, like it's kind of like in this generation, if you've got the choice, you should have the choice the whole time. Kind of feels a bit restricting when they say, "Oh, you can do this," but actually only when we let you. Most things, probably since Fallout 3 came out, people have expected choice to be choice, and I can do it whenever.
Yeah,
and it actually makes a fucking difference.
Yeah, there's another thing some of the choices and apparently the majority of the choices stuff just seem a bit arbitrary and just a bit not there.
It was like Heavy. It's made by the same people who did Heavy Rain.
Yeah, it's done by David Cage. I think what drove Heavy Rain on was as a sense of mystery, and trying to figure out who's the killer and this, that, and the other. And you go, is he the killer? Is he the killer? And it turns out to be like the nicest guy in the game.
What annoyed me is, no matter what you do, I was hoping that the second playthrough it would be a different killer.
No, it's always the same killer.
It's always the same. It's always the same story. No matter what you do leading up to it, you kill all of them. You kill the killer.
Yeah.
It's always the same fucking.
But I get that.
That is a one playthrough game.
That's a one playthrough, and you got to nail that playthrough in terms of what it is for you.
I got a brilliant ending.
I got a really good ending.
A really good ending. Everyone was happy. Everyone loved it.
Yeah, that's it. I got a really good ending in that too. But it is one of those things where you do it, and no matter what you do, if you're a dick, if you're a nice guy, whatever, you go off to somebody else and say, "How did you play through this game?" "Oh, I played through like this." "Oh, I played through like that." "Did you find out who the killer was?" "No." "Did you?" "Yes." And then you talk about it, and then there's no point to go back to it because you've had that conversation.
Yeah.
And it's all about having that conversation, and I don't think Beyond Two Souls is going to have that same conversation.
Now, with Mass Effect, everyone I've spoken to is like, "Oh, what did you do at this point?" Everyone's got an interesting story to tell because everyone does it a little bit different.
Oh, Mass Effect 2. I'll talk to that in a bit because we'll be doing a roundup of 360 and PS3 games.
I can't find out about Mass Effect 2.
Oh, you've got to play it.
I got to wade through the first one first.
If you battle for the first one,
Everyone says you have to battle through the first one. I know it's a popular thing to hate on the first Mass Effect. I fucking loved it. Apart from the annoying driving bits where you got to bop the car up and down, everything else about that game I really enjoyed.
It was the driving.
It was the driving, and it was just. It's a hard origin story. An origin story is always hard. I felt the same about Dragon Age. The first one is a bit of a hard origin story.
Because I think the original Dragon Age was meant to be a PC game.
Okay, I've got it on PC in a minute.
It doesn't really work very well with the controller. The second one they kind of fixed that, but the first time I was playing through Dragon Age, it's like, oh, I really feel like I should be in front of a keyboard at this point.
I think maybe with Mass Effect, the first one is maybe they tried to give you too much at once. There was too much information to give you that it was very easy to get swept away with it and just lose what was going on. That That was my main problem with it. Is you either got bogged down and you never made any progress in the game because you were trying to find out what they were talking about by going into your
your codex
your
stuff, yeah.
your codec thing. Then what's all that about then? What's this alien race and blah blah blah? And you did that, and then the game slowed to a fucking crawl, or you got on with it, and you never really knew what you were doing.
Yeah. I get that. I mean, I'm the kind of person that would just spend hours and hours going onto every computer and reading every email and checking all the codexes. But then I'm happy just like doing my own thing. Not really.
You're an information junkie, really. But yeah, there's that, and the other thing I've got, which is hopefully tomorrow, but I'm guessing more Saturday because that's the official release date, is a 2DS and a copy of Pokemon White, which has got some super stellar reviews, and I am excited for this new Pokemon.
Yeah, I really wish I could justify getting, because Shwenny really wants a 3DS to play Animal Crossing. I really want to get one.
Get a 2DS, they're 110 quid.
Funny story about the 2DS. When it was announced, I mean, have you heard about the 2DS?
Yeah.
I mean, it is a stupid name. It informs you of what the product is. It's a 3DS in 2D. But when it was announced, I can't remember which news channel it was. It was some American news channel. They went, oh, and great news here. The follow-up to the 3Ds has been announced. The new Nintendo 2Ds. The 2Ds, that's a 2DS. She thought it was a 2Ds was the name of it.
Someone that's never actually heard of fucking games.
It's like it's a bra or something.
The thing that gets me is the way they're sort of like on the box, because it's like 2DS. And in the white and black box up in the top where it would say, plays games in 3D, it goes, plays games in 2D. Like, as that's changed my life. It's just like, fucking hell, 2D.
Isn't a 2DS just a DS then?
No, because it's confusing because there are games that came out for the 3DS that you couldn't play on a DS.
Yeah.
But the 2DS will play the games that you can play on the 3DS, but with the visuals of a normal DS because it's 2D.
I think the thing
DS!
DS. But the thing I like about it the most is that it looks like a Fisher-Price toy.
It's
It's like pure plastic.
I don't look forward to the... I'm glad I don't work in a game shop and I'm not the guy that works behind the counter trying to explain to your grandparent about DSs and the variations.
Yeah, that'd be boring.
Yeah.
I think the whole idea of it was
Wii
that,
U is getting a bad rep for that as well. It's like, oh, so do I just buy the controller? No, you buy the entire system. Why would I need to do that when you buy? You don't buy the fucking controller. You buy the entire system. It's an upgrade. It's an actual new
Yeah,
console.
I still know people who think that it's just a different controller, which is tragic for Nintendo because they could have done a much better job of advertising it.
Oh, still
They
fucking good.
They didn't especially market the Wii U at all.
No.
Over here, I don't think they want to. I don't think I don't think they give a shit about.
Yeah, as long as
Any money they make from us is bonus.
Yeah, as long as they sell in Japan, they're always going to be happy.
Well, I say, the good games will come. I've seen the good games. I know they're coming. Like the new X game that people do, Xenoblade and Xenogears and stuff like that. Looks wicked. It looks like my kind of game, a nice big RPG type deal.
It makes me laugh when because the Wii U obviously doesn't have a lot of online stuff. They were talking. The games company that have made the new Arkham game have said, yeah, it will be online for PlayStation and Xbox. And they said,
Yeah.
what about Nintendo? And it's like, we really wanted to focus on the more online market. And it's like, well, if you don't ever make online games for the Wii U, it will never have an online market.
It's Catch-22,
What's
man.
cracked me up about that is that there was a news story claiming that would be the cheapest version because of the lack of online. And then I looked on Amazon, it's £2 more expensive.
What? It's £2 more expensive
Because you can waggle your controller at it.
I won't be doing that with my blooming big screen thing. Oh,
Yeah,
God.
so-
But, so those are things I've got. Speaking of Arkham, of course, that's out this month, at the end of the month. I'm guessing the Cowboy's going to try
so
and
much stuff come out. This
wriggle
month.
his way to get a copy of it.
I'm going to try and make the point that it will be beneficial for mankind if I get that game. I'm going to try and
Who else is going to clean up Arkham?
I'm going to try and convince my better half that it's
Just sit her down, put your arm around and go, baby, you know you're my ward.
However,
there's a world called
Gotham
Arkham.
needs me.
I am the hero the city needs.
Yeah, I'm very much looking for... Apparently there's a playthrough in it that's sort of a New Game Plus sort of thing. You get one life. If you fail,
Ooh.
that's it.
Oh, that's wicked.
That sounds like my kind of game.
And that's some serious, because I am prone to fuck ups. I'm quite good at like the combat and stuff of Arkham City and the Predator stuff. As long as you're patient, anyone can be good at it. But I, and I'm sure other people are, very prone to fuck ups, where it's like, I'm just going to zip up to this and get him. Oh shit, I'm stood in front of him and he's machine gunned me. It happens.
Yeah.
If you've got to the end of the game and that happens, that's going to make
Controllers going through the fucking... Not just control, but entire game systems going through the wall.
You are going to want to pull your eyeball.
What was the name of that mech game that came out? I can't remember if it was on the original Xbox or the 360. It had like a massive big control panel in front of you.
Oh god, it's like a mech warrior thing.
Gears, yeah, it was... there was a full-on, it was a massive big thing. You sat down in front of you, it had like wires and levers and buttons and all kinds of cool stuff. And there was an eject button under a glass panel. And if your mech was about to blow up, you'd have to flip this glass canister and hit the eject button, and you'd eject from your pod.
That's cool.
If you didn't do it in time and your mech blew up, it would kill you, wipe your save file, and you'd have to start all over again. And that was standard in the game. So they only sold like sort of 200 or 300 copies because obviously with this massive control thing, it was like sort of 350 quid. It's going to drive me nuts what the name of it was, and someone listening's going to have to Twitter me the name at some point. But it was wicked. I mean, I never actually got a chance to play it, but I watched some people playing it like on YouTube and stuff with the big controls. It looked wicked, but I can imagine you'd be proper raging if you got right to the end. Fucking eject button didn't work, it just kills you off and wipes your save file.
I would literally batter that eject button into the ground with my dick.
Oh god. Right, quick roundup of what else is coming out. Wind Waker's been out for a week.
Oh,
HD.
Shwenny wasn't impressed by that. She looked at it and went, looks the same as the one on my DS. Baby, you get out of here right now.
I'm going to buy it from a Wii U, drag my Wii U over to yours, sit her down in front of it. Look how better it is!
It's
Play it on your
beautiful.
DS! Now look at it!
It does. I'm not a massive Zelda head, but it looks sweet. I did like the original Wind Waker, and I like.
I say we brought it up in previous talk plays where you sort of gone about how you're chucking letters up in the thing and whatever. I can't remember which one it was. Someone will fill me on that. But of course, you've got Assassin's Creed 4. I'm guessing we're waiting until next gen for that.
Yeah, I'll probably wait till next gen. I'm not really interested in Assassin's Creed as such, but a pirate game, I'm going to play it. I love pirates.
They've announced a season pass for it as well.
So it's going to be some kind of online, maybe? Or
Big DLC one.
There's some
gotcha.
DLC stuff where you get to play as like your first mate, and it's really serious. It's a really serious story about slavery and stuff. That's so I've heard.
Well, there we go. Ratchet and Clank into the Nexus. I'm interested because I love Ratchet and Clank.
Will it work in the next gen? Will it still have a place? Will games like that still have?
I don't know, see, because
There'll be small download titles like that, and I think they will still.
That's the only way.
I
know it's totally niche, but this game is exactly the same. It's just little tiny sprites. It looks pretty much the same as it did on the PS1, but people, as long as it's a good game with good mechanics, well written, doesn't matter what it looks like, people are going to buy it.
Yep. What else? Skylanders Swap Force.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fox is in for that.
My girlfriend's totally mad about Skylanders at the minute. In fact, we just bought a shitload more. I think we've got about 30 of them now. One day I will have them all.
How many are there?
I think there's 42 in this current series, but they're bringing out another 8 or 9 when Swap Force comes out.
Yeah.
And that doesn't count the hundreds of different. There's like diamond, a bit like the old Pokemon cards, like a shiny version and a silver one and a legendary one that you can only find in certain stores, and they only make a certain number of them, and they're going for like 300 quid on eBay, which is retarded. But yeah, I'll be getting that on the PS4 because, good for them, they've gone, okay, well, you need to buy one portal and one set of models, and no matter what system you play it on, they're always going to work. So I've leveled all my guys up on my Xbox, they're all full level. When I get the PS4 Swap Force, bang it in, carry on with full level characters.
Exactly. And we suppose we can't finish the podcast up without, finish this bit of the podcast up without saying about Battlefield and Call of Duty, the age-old battle.
I got
Battlefield, maybe.
I got Battlefield
PS4.
3.
I'll probably pick up Battlefield if everyone else does. I want a good, like a serious shooter that we can all play together. I'm not interested in the slightest about Call of Duty. There's too much background of people being dicks on it. I've never played it. I can't say firsthand whether that's right or not. But in general, when someone says, "Oh, imagine a Call of Duty player in your head," it might be terrible of me, and I'm sure there are plenty of lovely ones out there. But I imagine a 12-year-old kid who is a complete prick, and his parents probably beat him.
They should do. But yeah, that's basically the ethos of the Call of Duty game. But there we go. Like I say, those are the battles, of course. Those are the games that are coming out. That's been the news. When we come back, we'll be talking about the best of PS3 and the best of Xbox. So stick around for that. Hello, welcome back to the Talk Play podcast. Now we're going to do our big summary of the PS3 and Xbox era. First of all, we're going to kick off with the best games that we've played. These are the ones that we personally have loved. These may not be the overall best game, but they're certainly ones that have resonated well with us. And I'm going to kick off with myself, because I'll be really selfish and take Mass Effect 2, because I fucking love that game. And it came on the back of me not liking Mass Effect 1 at all, because I played an hour or two of that at my half brother's. I just did not fall in love with it at all. And I saw it many years down the line for about £8 in HMV. And I figured, oh, I've got this Xbox recently, so I can play with my mates online and have a chat and have a bash at it. And that was a weekend gone. That was 30 hours just sort of instantly poured away. And I fell in love with it. And I fell in love with that universe. And it was just fantastic. And just the stuff it does. It felt like playing Final Fantasy games again, as they were. Just you go into an area and you sort of get a feel for the world. Like you go to somewhere like the Citadel. And you get just the feel of the grandeur of it. You get the feel of the local conversations and the mini missions that you can do in there to sort of talk to people and learn about the world. It's all very iterative and it just sort of gently piling on information. And it all works. The combat works really well, and it just resonated with me so well. And that the end run, the suicide mission, is what you build to from the start, because you've got to do this big mission. There have been graphs and stuff showing you what happens if you take certain paths throughout the game, and it shows you that the things you do, the decisions you make, and everything like that have a real impact on the end game. And so if you don't do something for a certain character, if you don't help them out in some way, then you could very well lose them during this end mission if you don't get their loyalty and stuff like that. And to be honest, you spend so much time getting to know these characters, loving these characters, but you just go, yeah, do you know what? I'm willing to do anything for you because you're my mate. We've been through so much shit together, but you are my mate, and I will help you out any way I can. You want me to go pick you up flowers in the forest? I'm off. I'm taking the space shuttle. I'm off to get you flowers.
There's something to be said about a game that makes you genuinely care about the characters. Maybe it's knowing that there is a potential that any one of them could die at any minute. I haven't finished the second one yet. I got a good way into it, and just thinking like, what you're asking me to do now is to go down to this planet and fucking do this with your uncle or whatever it is you want me to do, and kill some aliens and get this bit of artifact or whatever. That to me sounds like a real ball ache. However, we've been in a long run together. We've been doing loads of cool stuff. I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure that you are 100% on my side, because I feel like a captain. This game makes me feel like I'm actually a leader of a crew, and I want all these crew members to respect me and give me the respect I deserve, so I will bend over backwards to get
everything. And they're really
everything.
wicked characters as well, really well rounded, like Jack. Fantastic character.
She could so easily have just been a mopey, annoying bitch, but she was awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Like Tali, I know she was like the stereotypical
Fap.
Yeah, the sort of like I need rescue type of girl, but still. Oh, and she's an alien with a mask, of course.
Is that a blue chick?
No,
that's Liara.
Liara
the Asari. But yeah, there's just so much likeable about that game, and it just set me up. And you know, the third game not as good, but you've had that journey, and you're like, well, see it to the end, take it to the hole, and you finish it off, and you just feel good.
It needs a full stop. Things need a full stop.
If
you set off with such story based things in mind, there's got to be some kind of resolution, even if people don't necessarily like it. Or it's got to happen.
Yeah,
it's got to happen.
It's got to happen. So, Fox.
I poured more time and had more fun playing Borderlands 2 than anything else in this generation.
We've all had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
I mean, at first thought, like offhand, like might not necessarily be the best game that's come out in this generation. However, I've had more fun doing that. It's just more or less my perfect game. It's really, really silly. It doesn't take itself seriously at all. It's not pretentious. It's silly. The characters are great. There's so many, like, Claptrap is one of the most memorable characters ever. Like, no matter what I do.
Iconic, certainly.
Yeah.
Handsome Jack's one of the best bad guys to have in a game in a long time.
Definitely. He's really well written. The game looks good. It's got what I want in a game, which is I can spend hours and hours collecting loot and going through 50 guns trying to find one that's got 1 point higher at something else. I love that kind of crap. It's got ridiculous replayability. It looks great. It sounds great. The multiplayer was just the most ridiculous fun.
Well, the thing is, I can see us all coming back to it.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. There'll be a weekend when like, fancy some Borderlands? Yeah, especially with all the new stuff they're doing at the minute. Randy Pitchford said they're doing all kinds of... there's a lottery thing at the minute they're doing in a couple of weeks' time where they say, okay, there's going to be one character that's going to be at one point in the game and you've got 6 hours to go and kill him. And if you can kill him, your name goes into a pot. And at the end of the week, we draw all the names at the pot. And if your name comes out, you get, I think it was something like 600 grand of real money. That's an actual thing they're doing.
Okay, that's lovely, that is.
Yeah, it was 100 grand or something. It's something along those lines. Real money. If you can kill this character, you get put into a pot. And if they pull your name out, you get a shitload of money. And that's just kind of the kind of really silly, wacky thing that Borderlands is all about. I love it.
I say, on the subject of Gearbox, they do really well with their own franchise, it seems, but Colonial Marines and Duke Nukem, not so well. Maybe it's because they're constrained by a franchise, perhaps, so they just overcook it, I guess.
When you do so well on one thing, I can forgive a few slip-ups.
Were they trying to work with other people's stuff? Because the Colonial Marines started off as Sega, didn't it?
Sega published it, so...
Yeah, you see, Sega suck. I pretty much see Sega on the front of something and I think, that's probably going to be a bit shit.
We've heard this in the past.
Yeah.
We've had these conversations about Sega.
Bless them.
Come on, Cowboy, give us a positive. What's been a massively good game for you? Or the best, if you dare go there.
Probably not the best, but one of the biggest games for this generation was one of the earlier ones, which was Oblivion. I loved it. I loved everything about it. I just played it and played it and played it to death, and then I made another character and played it again. I really loved that game.
It's weird that Skyrim was, in essence, superior in every way. However, I maybe played Skyrim for maybe 30 or 40 hours, which, if you say I played a game for 30 or 40 hours, that's quite a long time to play a game. That is nothing compared to the amount of time I poured into Oblivion.
I've probably played Skyrim more, but because there's more to do.
Yeah.
But Oblivion, like I had Morrowind, and it wasn't as good as Oblivion. Obviously, the games are going to get better in quality as time goes on, but in the sense that, like, as a game for the time, wasn't as interesting to play as Oblivion, which came out because Morrowind was really weird. Like, all the landscape was really alien-y looking, and it just had an odd sort of... It was very difficult.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy. There was, like, pretty much a path you had to take, even though it was a free roam RPG.
I think that was what was quite satisfying about Oblivion as well, because around about that time, all the other games you were playing were still in the mindset of level 1, completed level 1, now it's time for level 2, because it was just that time in games where they hadn't really embraced free roaming yet. And I picked up Elder Scrolls Oblivion, and the first time we played it was when you brought your brand new at the time PS3, lugged it all the way to the middle of Wales to hang out with me in my dorm room for a weekend. Fuck, we played the shit out. I mean, you were only there for a weekend. I don't think it would have been more than 2 or 3 hours of that weekend that we weren't.
It was that feeling when you got out of the dungeons and you looked outside and you could see, like, deer running about and there were, like, wolves and stuff. It's like, I'm going to go over to those wolves. Oh, the wolves are going to fuck with me. And, you know, that sort of...
You've come out the sewers and you literally go... You actually take a deep breath in and go...
The grass looks lush, the sky is nice and blue, you see some hills with some ruins. Oh, I wonder if I can get over to that. You run over? Yeah, you can have a walk around. Maybe there's a twat up there you can hit around the head with something. It's fantastic. It just... Skyrim was more of the same. And they'd done... The combat was a little bit better. The combat of the Elder Scrolls games isn't great. It's not something that you can master. You can just
Do your best.
I'll tell you what's most telling about those two games. When I took Oblivion down to yours, Fox, I remember you just got a Wii at the time, and I was excited to go down there to play Wii Sports, and we played for an hour and a half on that, and we plugged this in. We cracked out Resistance in about a day, and then after that was all Oblivion. It was all, and I didn't touch the controller. I just let Bruce get on with it, and all of his mates came around. They all had a look at it and whatever. And we were all just getting involved with it. But I didn't touch the controller at all that weekend at all. After that,
Some crazy
it
shenanigans.
was some crazy shenanigans.
It was an early game, and it persuaded me to get a 360. At the time, I was still on a PlayStation 2, and my cousin had it. And he said, "Yeah, have a go." And I was only around his for a few hours, so it gave me time to make a character, do the dungeon bit, realise that the guy was Patrick Stewart, get really excited about that there was like an actual actor doing a voice in a game.
Yeah.
Got outside and I was like, shit, I gotta go home. I gotta go home, get some money and get a fucking Xbox. Is what I gotta do.
But what I found about Skyrim is it's like a very, very beautiful wallpaper, and I wish it was like a passive mode, just so I could explore the vistas and just check it out. Because it is, by far, I do think it's a much better looking game for what it does.
Much better.
Yeah.
And like I say, like the little tweaks are all improvements. But I don't know. It maybe I like I say, I've put more hours into Skyrim because there's more to do, and I've enjoyed collecting all the shouts and doing that sort of interesting thing. But because Oblivion was the first,
It sets that in your mind as being the best, and I to be honest with you, I probably would agree with you in terms of that being defining, that set a tone and that set a level of precedence. So also, when you came to Skyrim, you weren't like, wide and go, what the fuck is this? You already done that.
The end game of Skyrim is like you're in a sort of other realm and you have to shout away some clouds and fight another dragon. Whereas like the end of Oblivion was fucking nuts. Like you're running through the streets, you've got to save that guy. There's demons pouring in, which is it's cool as dragons. Like demons and dragons are about as cool as it gets. And then all of a sudden, this huge demon comes along, the big Daedra Prince, and it's got all the arms and different swords and stuff, and it's like, I'm going to have a go at him. I'm going to try and fight him. I can't fight him. Run, Martin! Run, Sean Bean! I'll save you! And we're the few times in that game where if you knacker it, if Sean Bean gets killed, which he normally does in most things, if he gets killed, it fucks up. And you have to start your quest again. So we're the only times you're responsible for another character in that game.
Yeah.
And it's like it changes how... Normally, like, you take a character onto a mission with you and they get knocked out by a monster and they just, like, sort of squat for a bit and they go, "Hurr!" and then you deal with it. Then they get back up and everything's okay. Whereas Martin, he gets killed and it's like, oh shit, I've actually failed the mission. Not because I died.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just had a bigger feel to it. The whole city gets wrecked and then Martin turns into a dragon and he fights the demon and it's like, wow, this story wasn't really about me.
Yeah.
This was about them. I've been involved in their story.
Yeah,
it had like a weird sort of... Then you've got to exist in this world where you've seen demons and gods fighting.
Yeah.
And it was like, that was really cool. Whereas like Skyrim, it's like you see a big black dragon at the start. He's the bad guy.
Yeah.
And you're the good guy. And you'll beat him.
Mm. I think in terms of story, I'd like to put an honourable mention into Last of Us, even though I know I'm the only one who's played that. Because there are tons of games that do coming of age stories and stuff like that, particularly RPGs. And The Last of Us is the only one that feels like it does it properly because it goes on a timeline. It does all 4 seasons. You go through spring, summer, autumn, winter, and you see the characters evolve and you see it change and you see their nature when they're apart and together, and it's like going on a massive journey. It's like The Road, basically, that game. you've ever read the Road or seen the film.
I've seen the film, and that I had a I had a shower as soon as I watched it.
Yeah.
And it felt like the best shower I've ever had.
Yeah.
It was really weird. I really appreciated being able to shower. Films don't normally do that to me, so I can sort
The
of...
Last of Us will give you the best shower you ever had, bar that.
Ooh.
You will have a good shower.
That's a slug, that film.
Mm.
Hard going.
But yeah, that's, like I say, that's an honourable mention. Any other honourable mentions for games?
Arkham City.
Arkham City.
Yeah, I think we can all agree that Arkham City was pretty freaking
And
awesome.
probably Walking Dead.
Oh yeah, Walking Dead.
For how different that was.
That was massively left full curve.
And maybe Dead Rising. The Dead Rising games were just like so much fun.
In co-op, nothing better.
Yeah, we've had a lot of fun on that.
We've had massive loads of fun on that. I'll say, but there's stuff like Left 4 Dead as well we could mention, and Uncharted, of course. I'd like to chuck in a mention for that because Nathan Drake's such a wicked character.
The Halo franchise peaked and then died.
Yeah, I say
We got so much time out of
Reach.
Halo, Reach, and Still, I will go back and complete 4 on Legendary. I got I think the first 8 levels done on solo Legendary, and I never actually.
I'll go back and play 4. I'll complete 4.
Reach was perfection for me. I'm now looking forward to Destiny. That's the way
I cannot
forward.
wait for Destiny. It's gonna be so freaking sweet.
Right. Should we go into what was worst? What the stuff that was really grinding on gears on this generation of consoles?
Yeah, man.
The Cowboy's sniggering at me. He's got something in mind.
Perfect Dark Zero.
Good choice off the bat.
Got that because I love Perfect Dark for the N64. I used to play it around with my friends. Used to struggle to play it because it wasn't an easy play game.
No.
Because it was like 8,000 buttons. But it was a very fun game. We used to like setting up the bots. So they were piece bots.
Yeah.
So there would be like 8 piece sims or something. And they come. They just punch you and take your gun. They wouldn't actually kill you. And we'd try and like fortify rooms in the facility. Then Perfect Dark Zero came out and it was like, meh. Just really run-of-the-mill shooter that had nothing going for it. It was just really, really poor. The reviews I read for it recently, because when we talked about how we might be mentioning the worst games, I had a look at it, and they were really positive reviews.
I don't think you can take those reviews on the basis. I think it's the fact that it was one of the launch games. It was probably the last proper game that Rare did.
Right.
Like in terms of it being like a hardcore game. I know they did Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. That was a bit more kiddie. But Perfect Dark Zero was kind of like the last big proper one they did.
Yeah.
Before they went to Wii and Wii Sport. Well, I'd say Wii. What am I saying Wii for? It's Kinect. All the Kinect Sports stuff and the Kinect Champions and all that crap. But I think that was the reason. It was probably a good pick of a bad bunch, maybe.
Yeah, it was really disappointing. It was really disappointing.
Well, I think I'm going to throw mine in. I'm going to say Devil May Cry 4. To be honest,
that was an awful game. So,
because
you don't get to play as Dante. You get to play as Dante's clone with a giant blue fist.
It was like first off the bat, you had to do a half-an-hour download, which was killing for me. So you wait for this game, you get the Steelbook edition, you pop it in, wait half an hour. Oh, for fuck's sake, really? And it does the whole history of Devil May Cry about 16 times, cycling through images like, okay, I want to kill myself now. And then you play it. You play it as Nero, the first guy with the demon hand, and it's like, oh, this is kind of okay. I'm enjoying this. And then you play it as Dante, but you play the game up to that point in reverse. So all the bosses you fought up to that point, you got to go back through the opposite way, fight them as Dante.
Yeah.
And it feels really backward. But because you're playing as Dante, you feel like super overpowered. It's like anything you come across, it's just like, oh, I've got these 4 classes and I can just bop things to death. Alright, I'm through that. I struggled for 20 minutes with Nero doing that. I can't see why that was so hard.
Yeah.
And you keep going. It kind of feels like I'm cheating out of like the game. Like they gave me half a game and gone, how can we lengthen this? Well, pop in Dante and we'll do it in reverse.
Yeah.
Fucking brilliant.
But it would be a piece of piss.
It'd be a piece of piss. And it was just, so disappointed that they just let it slip around like that. It's just no, you can't do that. You've got away with it, Capcom, but I'm not letting you get away with it again. Particularly when you gave Ninja Theory a chance and they did a fucking better job than you. And you're taking it away from them, so there we go. Fox, any disappointments?
I was kind of disappointed with Brink.
I was very disappointed with
Only
Brink.
because I had such high hopes for it. Brink was going to be a multiplayer, fully customizable Mirror's Edge, and it was going to be awesome. And the controls didn't work, and the multiplayer was lame, and the character customization was pants. I was so sad, and the servers didn't work properly, and everyone in it was a total douche. I can't really blame the game for that, but it was really disappointing. And I think if I hadn't built it up so much in my head and been so excited about how great it was going to be, I went out and bought it first day of release, and I think I traded it in after about 2 days. I never do that. It was that bad.
That's not good.
No. Also, an honourable mention to games that should be terrible but weren't. Dead or Alive Extreme Volleyball 2.
That was
wicked.
Genuinely terrible.
And Oni-chan Barra Bikini Zombie Slayers or whatever it was called.
That was fucking terrible.
I like my games to be deep and enriching or stupid and sexual.
Boobs and violence.
Yeah, boobs and violence. My two favourite things.
Yeah, I can go with that.
You can concur with that. I think one of the things that is going to disappoint me is going to be Beyond Two Souls. I can see it happening now. But in terms of other stuff that sort of, I guess, let me down when I had such great expectations for them. Oh, God, what was the name of the game? Drawing a right blank on all this now.
I thought of one earlier on and I've forgotten it. There's been a lot of games that should have been good. A lot of follow-ons from the original Xbox and PlayStation 2. A lot of ones that have tried to like recapture a magic that have really failed.
Yeah, like I said, I think Bionic Commando was probably the only thing that they've sort of brought back. I'm not talking about the 3D version; that was shit. But
what I was going to say.
But the rearmed one was pretty damn decent because they just sort of did the remake, but gave it a nice 2.5D visual style.
Yeah, that was a cool game. It looked good. It looked nice.
It looked nice, and it was a good price as well.
Alien vs Predator, purely because the original Alien vs Predator for the PC was so much fun, and Alien vs Predator for 360 was fucking unplayable.
Yeah.
The Marines mission was really good, but it's a third of the game.
Yeah.
Playing as Predator was clunky because you had to jump in specific places. Playing as the alien was just confusing.
Yeah.
Because you'd like, oh shit, am I on the ceiling or can I leap? No, I can't leap because I'm in this position. And oh wait, no, the game's fucked. That was a very bad game. I didn't play Colonial Marines because of that. Lots of people talk about Colonial Marines being really good, and I said it's not going to be any good because Alien vs Predator was a massive bag of poo made by Sega. And, lo and behold, it was a massive bag of poo. People were surprised.
People missold on the lie of the trailer.
And I was just pointing at my copy of Alien vs Predator, which isn't even worth taking in as pre-owned because they're like, that we will charge you to take that away from you. I just pointed that copy and go, seen it here. It's right here.
It's all here.
The proof is here.
It was written in the stones.
Yes.
I tell you what was terrible in a really great way. That You're in the Movies game we used to Connect for.
Oh, that was cool.
That was wicked good fun. It was like, do this very, very quick scene from Superman Returns. Oh, there you go. Have 100 gamer points.
The early Xbox games were like that though, weren't they? Like you played through King Kong.
Yeah.
And you got 1,000 gamer points.
Yeah, so much Salvation was the same. You play through that and you get like gold and platinum trophies.
Like,
it was all
sweet.
It was all just gold trophies and then platinum for just doing it all. You just did the game and then you just got the full completion. It's just like, what? That ain't right.
Tenchu Z appears on almost every list for 50 worst games ever made. Fucking love Tenchu Z.
Ever made? Are you
Well,
serious?
in this generation.
Oh, I was going to say, it couldn't be ever made. There were games in the past that just didn't fucking work. You just put them in, turn them on, and it's just like, is this working? Put them off, blowing the cartridge, or give the CD a magic rub on the jumper.
No Mercy that just wouldn't save, just refused to save if you had the first copy of No Mercy for the N64.
Oh, Christ, what's my copy of No Mercy?
Um,
I've got no idea. It must save, so it must be like a second copy.
The original versions they did of No Mercy had blood in. You could bloody people.
Yeah.
But if you had that copy, it wouldn't save. It would delete any save. You would have to do everything, like everything.
Yeah.
In that one playthrough.
I think the WWE games have been a massive disappointment to me as well, because they're just not evolved.
Nah.
They've just not gotten into a place where this is like super. Because I thought the goal of overall wrestling games was going to be I'd have every mode and every character who ever wrestled ever.
Yeah.
And I just don't. I still don't have that dream game. The closest I got was last year's version. We had the Attitude Era. And I had a lot of wicked fun playing through that. But I still didn't have. Like, all the tag teams were not in it. Like, I wanted to have some 3D versus the Hardy Boys versus Christian and Edge.
Oh, nice, yeah.
I wanted the big old TLC matchups, fucking people to death.
What annoyed me, I had the one, I think, before that. And me and my friend Pete have made... he was Timothy Extreme and I was Ryan the Inferno Johnson.
Yeah.
And we were the EIW.
Yeah.
And in every single SmackDown game we've made a stable. Since you could on the second one, I think.
Yeah, second one.
We were the EIW version 1, and then the next game would come out version 2, and it would keep going. And we were like, oh, sweet, we got the new SmackDown. I haven't bought one in a few years. We'll make the EIW. So we did that. We made the stable. And because there's the WWE Universe, just broke up the stable. Like, no, the storyline's changed, so you guys are split up and you're rivals now.
Yeah.
No, hold on. This is...
This is what I want.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Just to go way back to the start, that game I was talking about before was Steel Battalion.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Check out the control. Isn't that fucking ridiculous?
Wow.
Yeah, it was like...
All we can see is like a wall of buttons and knobs and joystick pads and all sorts of crap.
It looks like you need actual fucking training. It looks like you genuinely need to learn.
From what I understand, there was quite a comprehensive training thing. But yeah, there's a shitload of stuff to do right there. That makes terrible radio saying, look at this picture. But yeah, just to...
It's beautiful.
Steel Battalion.
Really tits.
Oh, God.
Oh, Metro was a really bad game. Duke Nukem.
I quite enjoyed Duke Nukem. I appreciate... I come out with a lot of these. Like, I know it was a shit game, but I enjoyed it. So.
I'll tell you what shit game I enjoyed. Matt Hazard. Eat Lead, The Return of Matt Hazard. Because it had some fucking wicked music in it. Like, I remember, because I just moved into the centre of Worcester at the time. Into the nice big place I had there. It was like one of the games I bought because I was like on a cheap binge at the time. Because all I could afford to eat was cereal and biscuits. The dream. Which is why I have no teeth these days. But what I remember most about that game was it had like a really wicked theme. It's like bum, 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 bum. It's like the kind of theme you give yourself, just sort of like a really rocking. You can ride into battle like a Valkyrie, going yeah.
Sounds like most 90s cartoons. It sounds like the start of SWAT Cats, actually.
Yeah, it was like the start of SWAT Cats, but it was always like you highlight a disc in PS3, it'd come up with the image. And then it would play maybe a bit of music. That was the bit of music it would play. And honestly, I just leave that going. When I was on my laptop, it's just like... all I can hear in the background is... And I had this track on my laptop, but I'm having it on there because...
What else have I played that has been utter turd? There's been a lot of turd games I've seen played.
I'd put GTA 4, to be honest, in there, in terms of a disappointment.
Disappointment was massive. GTA 4.
The cars were way too heavy. The shooting was okay, but not quite there yet.
There was no fun on it. It
wasn't fun. It was just...
I wanted...
cousin, come and play bowling with me. Roman, your cousin.
When I say I wanted a more grounded, realistic GTA. I didn't want it to take all the fun away. I wanted it to be sort of like a bit more of a real story.
I was annoyed with San Andreas that was too serious. I found San Andreas too serious.
That was mad though, because he went from the ghetto to running a fucking casino in Las Venturas.
It was silly, but it wasn't funny.
No, I'll be fair.
And then they took the silly out of it. And they didn't leave, and they didn't bring back the funnies. You were just like...
It took away the noise and the funk.
I did a mission on, going back to GTA 5, I did a mission the one where you got to chase Molly at the airport.
Yeah.
And he leaves where you start the mission from, the studio, he leaves there fucking fuming. He is furious and he's shouting. The voice actor's doing his best of like he's going off his twat.
Yeah.
To the point where I was chasing her and myself was mad. I was mad. I'm serious. I was sat there like, fuck you, bitch. I will fucking chase you down. I will get what I need to get off you. And I never felt like that with him before. I never felt like Nico was so unlikable and he was like, okay, I will do it for money.
What I didn't like about Nico was the fact he'd sit down and go, sometimes I think killing is wrong and there must be a way that we can all live peacefully and just live our lives and everything's great. And then he'll go outside and just fucking butcher innocent people. And then he'll sit down and go, I don't know if I can work for this man. He seems like a bad person to me. Fuck you, Nico. You suck.
I think that's one thing that's certainly improved with this generation is the idea of characterization and voice acting. You watch something like how they make Uncharted and how they do that. All the proper, they're like suited up and they're doing the acting and they're proper mocapping it and they're doing the lines just like acting.
It's blurred. It's blurred completely into like Hollywood. Like you watch how they did the whole of the last part of the Incredible Hulk film.
Yeah.
It was all mocap, all facial, like that powder stuff they have that captures your facial expressions.
Yeah.
It's kind of like having loads of balls on your face, but it's just like a dust. And it's blurred that line now. That like that's the standard for games, and it's in films.
Yeah, if you can't afford to have a full acting cast, fully mocapped, then you're probably not going to get more than a 5 or 6 from any of the reputable gaming review companies.
Yeah. But I'd say even then you've got to have a good script that goes with it. I mean, something like Heavy Rain, which is a game I enjoy, but the voice acting that and the script in that is cheesy and bullshit to hell. But it's like Jaden, like the FBI guy. He just sounds like a really bad Christopher Walken knockoff.
Yeah.
Like, gotta investigate the murder scene. Just check it out. Look at this. It's blood. What's it doing here?
Mother, your little boy is coming home.
He's got your father's watch. It's his watch. His watch.
He kept his watch up his ass.
But it is that bad. It's just.
But the funny thing is, though, is one of the few games that I've been playing whilst people have come round to talk to Jem and stuff, and have all of a sudden got engrossed into it, like I was sat in the corner watching a film to myself. It was like I was over there playing the game, and people came in. And normally, if I would be playing like Red Dead or whatever, they wouldn't be really that fucking. Normally, the boyfriend of whoever it was would come over and have a look at the game. Are you doing something cool?
Yeah. Are you killing people today?
Yeah, I like to see this. But Heavy Rain got people like, oh, okay, this is. It had that vibe to it. I don't know.
I like to say that.
But it was cheesy.
Yeah, it's cheesy as hell. But it was the level of mystery to it.
Yeah.
It was the fact that there was something going on.
I
didn't quite know what it was.
I liked that the FBI guy had the Google Glass.
Oh, that was so cool. Like, you expect like the thing from Minority Report. It's like vroom, 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 going all like that.
Yeah.
Swishing his hands about, making menus fly about, and evidence all over the place. And you can pick the backdrop.
Yeah, you can be like in the forest or.
Oh. See, I can rag on that game, but it's so wicked.
I didn't get the one part where another guy, like the other cop that works at the police station, who doesn't like the FBI guy, puts the glasses on, and then all of a sudden the FBI, because in my playthrough the FBI guy died.
Ah, so he lived in mine.
See, he died in mine because I left the glasses on too long and he had a fucking aneurysm and died.
Oh, isn't it if he takes that, like, crank stuff, like super crystal meth, he can get, like, really addicted to it?
No, I was at a point where I was trying to find evidence to work out who it was. And I was sat there like, I'm fucking missing something really obvious. I'm going through all the evidence in his fucking swipe phone fucking glasses thing.
Yeah.
And because he had the glasses on so long, all of a sudden he had a fucking heart attack and died. His fucking nose started pissing blood and he just fucking...
Well, because I know he's an addict as well.
Yeah.
I think that's another way you can die. You keep taking
Oh
his
yeah,
crank.
you can die that way as well. You
'Cause
can die with him right at the start if you go up onto the train tracks straight away. You get hit by a train.
Seriously?
And he's out of the game.
I didn't know that.
But yeah, in the playthrough I had at the end, the guy who works at the police station, who's constantly like fighting against his grain, puts the glasses on and he's in like the serene forest and he's all like, oh, that's cool. And the FBI guy is fucking there.
Ooh.
And it's like, oh, that's weird. That's really changed the fucking direction of the game.
Here's a question for you. I know we're going massive off topic here. Well, sort of off topic. But the Saw scene, what did you decide to do?
The what scene, sorry?
You know,
Oh, yeah, I fucking did it, man.
what'd you do it with?
Oh, I had a fucking butter knife or something. I picked like, because I think it might have been Oz was around at the time, and I was like, it was scissors. That was it. Fucking it was a pair of scissors. I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll do it with some scissors. That'll be a laugh.
I say because I
didn't like the
way I remember it is you can cauterize the wound as well.
Oh yeah, I did all of that.
You can do all that like
I did all that afterwards,
disinfecting it.
But
and
I
cauterizing all sorts.
I did it in like the bluntest way. Like if there'd have been a butter knife, or like if I had to have karate chopped it off, I'd have done it. I just because
Wasn't make him suffer.
It amused me that I could. That probably says a lot about me as a person.
Sadistic bastard.
Yeah, I think I did it with scissors or something really impractical. There was like a saw and pliers.
Yeah, it was like some pliers.
There was lots of different things.
There was lots of. I think that's what sums up that game really well. You did have that choice.
Yeah.
And even though it doesn't really change the outcome unless you decide not to do it, you sort of like go look at that stumpy bit of finger and go, yeah, I know what I did there.
I see. I did that. I failed the electric bit in the power plant because that was really fucking hard, and I failed the car bit. So I did like 2 out of the 4 things.
Yeah.
But I still worked out who he was, saved him, and had like the happy ever after ending.
Yeah.
I got a feeling this is going to make really terrible radio because for someone like me who's never played Heavy Rain, I'm like, the fuck you guys talking about?
What we're trying to say is play Heavy Rain, son.
To be fair, it's a really cool game. Yeah, that bit at the beginning with the balloons and stuff.
I
really
hesitate
nice.
to call it a game, but it's a very good interactive experience.
Yeah, you get to see a man's ass in like the first 4 minutes of the game. And
Oh, hot diggity, I'm in
that
there.
fucking sells it for
There's
me.
a woman taking a shower as well.
You get to fuck that chick as well.
Yeah, the one who was having a shower.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because always having a shower. People are always having a shower in Dead Cage games.
What is it
Fahrenheit
with
knows
people
it.
showering, weirdos?
But you never see that in normal games. You never see like Max Payne going off to the fucking shower. I'll be fair, he does like cave all his hair off.
Michael from GTA 5 looks exactly like fucking Max Payne now. He's a big fucking light beard and shaved head and he's got the fucking shirt. It's either that or he occasionally looks like Walter White.
Yeah, bit of Breaking Bad. Oh god, yeah. Anything else that annoyed or disappointed us?
That's just about me covered for the whole generation.
Just life in general.
Just life in general. Anything we can take forward into the new generation from?
Oh, don't make another Sonic game.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll be making those to the cows come home.
Sonic 4 sucked.
Just
that was a fucking disappointment for me. Sonic 4 was the biggest fucking letdown I've ever had. Don't make any more fucking Sonic games.
I want more worthwhile DLC, some more story-based stuff. Because Lair the Shadow Broker for Mass Effect 2 was a massive bit of DLC, and it was the best thing ever. It had like 8 hours of gameplay on it. It was fucking huge. I think I got it for about 1,000 points, which is nothing. Nothing for extra 8 hours of story.
Undead Nightmare was a really cool DLC.
Oh yeah, that was
Undead
a
Nightmare.
great bit of DLC. Just took the game in a completely different direction.
Yeah, it went sideways. But then the DLC for GTA 4 was much better than GTA 4. The Bar of the Gay Tony and stuff.
That was the best thing.
They're really cool things.
It's like the third mission, you like steal like a gold-plated helicopter or something stupid.
They actually thought, you know what we missed here? Like fun. Yeah, no, totally. DLC. Lots of DLC. The DLC for Borderlands 2 has been fucking good.
Yeah, I'd say scrap map packs. Map packs are just crap. They're just poor excuses. They're poor man's proper DLC.
Yeah, I think out of all the DLCs that have been released so far, Borderlands has got to be up there with great value. Every one of them added like several hours of gameplay, loads of wacky new stuff. Fun. The big game hunt was a bit hit and miss, but I haven't really played it all the way through yet. I've just kind of done the main story bit. But like Tiny Tina's
Yeah, we've been through this on previous.
so
Fantastic.
awesome. Yeah.
The Pirate's Booty was okay. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. It gave you a bit more to do. And that's enough for me. Like it gave me a bit more playability with my friends.
That's it. It's sort of like with those DLC. If you get a map pack, they're only good as if your mates have got that map pack.
Yeah, that was the main trouble we had when we had Reach. Was like routinely we'd have maybe 6 of us playing together at the same time, 5 or 6 of us, and if 1 or 2 people didn't have that map pack, you'd have spent £7 or £8 getting the new maps and never ever fucking playing them.
We ended up getting those new maps, didn't we? The first set of new maps they brought out for Reach. And they never came up in the fucking list anyway.
They don't do it.
It was all the Forge World stuff that really pissed me off when it made that transition from Bungie to 343. And it was just this constant Forge World.
Yeah, user created content. Build your own fucking levels. That's what I paid you for.
Also, they were turd.
Yeah.
There we go. I think that's a very nice point to leave off it. Very angry at map packs.
God, I'm gonna go home and punch a squirrel.
And that's a squirrel. That's going to be very, very lame. But there we go. Thank you very much for listening to us today. Waffle on about all things that are important to us. Hope you've all enjoyed it. It's goodbye from the Cowboy.
Bye-bye.
And it's goodbye from Fox.
Goodbye.
And we'll catch you all again soon. Alright then. Cheers.